no, crowd noises, you know, stuff like that. Oh yeah, see, it's really the fireworks. It's this is on the wrong one. See, it's really the fireworks that bring that brings that all together. So, how you doing, Joe?
I'm good, man. How's it going?
Fine. Considering today we get to watch such cinematic treats such as this.
Right on. I love the intro song.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you have to listen to it on headphones to get the full effect.
I feel like you do. I feel like you do.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, definitely for sure.
See the problem. See, I did sound engineering back in the day, so fucking I do got all these really minute things that you only pay attention to if you've got headphones on and if you care about like sound in any way.
Yeah, yeah. I could hear you. You put some of the tracks in the left and right channel and stuff, and it makes a good effect. It sounds good. I like it.
We get very heaven and hell. Oh, well, that's the wrong one. BS is saying it's
I'm
very
lagging.
yeah. I suppose it is yes, and I don't think I would be the good one, but you know, I but I suppose yeah. Oh, he's lost a doll. He's in the green massless void.
Well, I'm trying to fix the lag. I don't know why it's lagging. It doesn't usually do that, and it wasn't doing that a minute ago. So uh, let's turn this off completely and see what it does.
Could just be the internet because it's great like that.
That's way better. So that was it. You can see my green screen with holes in it and all the nonsense behind me. But
It's one of them fucking by the we'll be tiny boxes in the corner when we start listen watching this anyway. It don't matter.
yeah,
I thought I should. This is a tease for people for stuff. I don't know if they'll understand, but they appear to be bald caps. I've got two of them, and neither of them fit me properly. So you know,
well, yeah. You got a lot of hair to put under there.
I do. I do. I was thinking I might be able to just like tuck it behind everything and just like hope for the best. Otherwise, I might have to cut it off a
I'll
bit.
figure it out.
Get one of those. We was thinking maybe get some like like old granny nylons, and then it
Yeah,
wouldn't show through as much, and it'd be fine.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So, uh, we did. Joe messaged me a while ago. Do you know what, Crystal? You can get rid of him. I didn't realize what he'd done. I just thought he was a bit of a knobhead. But since he's done docs and stuff, you can ban him. It's fine. I can't do it from this platform.
Yeah,
Anyway, Joe messaged me a while ago, but like, let's just make fun of shit. Everybody's being so goddamn serious all the time. Let's just get together and let's just make fun of things, okay? So then, we went, okay, what we're going to make fun of. We didn't know. So I decided I narrowed it down to two films, didn't I? It was either Bible Bees or Finding Jesus. So it just,
I apologize to the audience. I chose Bible Bees.
hey, I doubt Finding Jesus is any better. What do you, sorry,
No, no.
isn't any better because of the cinematic masterpiece in which we are about to embark upon.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, let's just get into this and just rip it off like a fucking band-aid. So,
Yep.
you know, I'm gonna warn people now. If you notice some audio bits, it's because I did a hasty job on some music bits at the last second because of fucking copyright shit from it. So it's fine now. So cool beans. And And I just want to say right away, look at this animation color. Animation color. I love the nice style of animation that it's got. It's very nice, isn't it? Do you know? Do you think it's in any way representative of what we're actually going to watch, or did they spend all their money on an intro and went, "Oh shit, we've got to make the rest of the film as well"?
You know the answer.
I know, but I gotta ask the audience. I've got to get them engaged. They've got to type things.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, look at it. It looks nice. I mean, look at that bee. It's a nice bee, indeed, Crystal, buzz, 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 indeed.
They've made it to where like the resolution looks like it's like pre VCR on most of it anyway. Like that bee is really out of focus.
Well, it's just getting you ready for the, it's casting a feel. It's a bit fuzzy around the edges. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just pre-rendered. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody should go watch that video if you've not watched it yet. I got some guy mid-conversation to flip-flop on whether Nazis were Christian because it was advantageous to his argument. It was fun.
Nice.
He also tried to say that Nazis were nicer than the Japanese because of the Bible. Yeah. It's a cool,
well,
I put a little context in there first, but it's a fun video. People should go watch it.
We'll have to discuss that sometime.
I think they are but humble beasts. I don't think God would answer them, but they are in the film, so maybe they would.
All bees go to heaven.
It's a beautiful day in the country, and little bees Sunny and Petal are flying back to their hive after a fun day collecting pollen.
Wow, Petal, we collected so much yummy pollen today.
That animation, though, is exactly the same kind of animation and in the same kind of quality as what was in the... You know what I mean?
What in the world did they do?
Well, you see the animated bees. They took bees and they got bees to, and like back in the day when they made Jurassic Park, right? And they wanted to make the CGI for the dinosaurs and they like 3D mapped, like leather and stuff to make like the image of the dinosaur and stuff. Brought dinosaurs in and 3D image them and everything. But they've gotten some bees in and 3D image them. And
obviously, yeah.
I think they've made perfect bees. I think these are perfect bees. I like the eyes. I like his little legs. No stinger, though. I know, it's an interesting choice.
Take my good hand.
Because, and do you like the attempt of the, oh my God, the Bart Simpson voice? Is it Bart Simpson? Is that what the bee it's going for? Is that what the bee's going for?
Queen Buttercup will be so proud of us, Sunny.
Oh my God.
And here is Queen Buttercup. She will be very proud indeed.
Sunny, Petal, there you are.
We discovered a new Cloverfield, Queen Buttercup, full of...
But they discovered I think I put the wrong film on. They discovered the new Cloverfield. Isn't that like an alien race that comes from space and traps people in underground places with like, John Goodman and such? Can only be filmed with bad camera. It's usually how it goes, right? Don't know. Do you think I like the little fucking house and shit in the background. It looks like a place in World of Warcraft. It looks like they've just taken a place from World of Warcraft and gone, no, we'll put it in ours.
Why did they make all their teeth look like they're meth heads?
Because,
Of
right?
Clover
Look, no. See,
Block.
look at them teeth, right? It's because, right, and right. I'm gonna get a little technical for you now, right? Just a little technical. When bees are like, people think that like, bees go from thing to thing and they have like, like a little proboscis thingy and they suck up nectar. And then they get pollen on the legs and they fuck off, and you know what I mean. No, they don't. They have these big chompers, right? And they eat because the nectar. Everybody thinks the nectar is a liquid. I don't know why. It's propaganda. It's actually a solid. And they need them big chunkers to get into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's science.
Yeah, they're missing half of them though on the bottom. Like,
Well, yeah, because
and they got one big one in the middle.
Well, right. Have you ever watched a Goofy movie?
Yeah.
So everybody who's watched a Goofy movie should know that the only way that you can efficiently open a tin of alphabet soup is with your teeth. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you need the teeth separated so you can get both at one time. You don't want to lose too much soup, because it's on the bottom. Evolution doesn't make things perfectly. It just does it the way they need it.
Right. Yeah.
Possums.
And have collected tons of pollen for the hive.
Great job, Sunny and Pat.
I love how she said that like the most brain dead. And we've collected tons of hot pollen for the hive.
Petal. Everybody in the hive just loves Clover.
I know, right?
Who doesn't?
How did you ever find the clover field, little ones?
Billy the dog told us about it.
Ah, our good friend Bailey the dog.
Yes, Queen Buttercup. You see,
As everybody knows, bees are really good friends with dogs. Always good friends with dogs. And it's a kid's film. I'm nitpicking.
I'm scared of bees again after this.
Wow. Hello, one Andy guy, normal person. How you doing?
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Word. This man was here while I was talking to a Christian man the other day.
Yeah, that was a good conversation, actually, from everybody. I liked that. It was pretty productive.
Aye.
Hi, Andy.
Hey, what's up?
Andy, this is Joe. Joe, Andy. I don't know if you know each other. There's people here. There's people. I don't know.
No, never met him.
Fair enough.
Pleased to meet you.
You as well.
Sorry. So we're watching Bible Bees. So
Hell yeah.
You get to enjoy Bible Bees. Do you know what?
What the
Yes.
fuck is this?
This is a cinematic masterpiece, and this is the sort of things that you show your children to get them to believe in Jesus.
Hang on, I'm going to shut my window. The road is noisy.
And this is Disney quality. Disney should sue. I mean, like, they've totally nicked some of the Korean animators and made just the best thing. It's like watching Beauty and the Beast in 1992.
I mean, it's like Pixar. It's just
Yeah, Toy Story, really
Yeah.
Pixar.
you can tell.
Oh, yeah. It's the angles. They have very particular angles. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when I look at a bee, that's totally...
a very good sense
Is
of
that
smell.
Tom Hanks?
And when we asked him if he
Totally. Tom Hanks had to turn down other roles to be in this.
I bet he did.
We could have got Forrest Gump 2, 3, and 4, but he turned down all of them to be in this.
could find a field of clover for us, he said,
Sure thing, little bees. I can sniff out a great big clover field for you and yours.
You will collect enough sweet nectar to keep your hive fed all winter long.
That was totally a different
That's
voice.
such a wonderful gesture.
Oh shit! We didn't do that one bit Fuck. Kind of sound made me vaguely like it. No one will notice. Honest.
I feel like they're copying The Simpsons a little bit with the Marge Simpson hair and the yellow skin and the son having spiky hair.
Well, yeah, the son also sounds like a shit Bart Simpson.
So is this satire or is this real?
No. This is a cinematic masterpiece that is, distributed to children to indoctrinate them from a young age. And
Are they gonna? Do you think they'll crucify a bee?
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what I was wondering. What about the
wow.
evil scenes?
Wow. Maybe in the sequel. There is a Bible. Don't worry. There is a Bible Bees too.
Do they cover Leviticus and Bible bees too?
Bible Bees too. Now these bees are getting back to business.
Time to make some real money.
It's the lands of the blood and honey. No, sorry, not blood. That's not just other people.
Yeah.
Milk and honey.
I want to see them sacrifice 2 doves.
Totally. Just these 2 little bees going, "Hey, dove, come here."
They just like sting the shit out of him, and
I don't know. Look at that. Like, you can see the boy's rump there, right? There's no stinger. Well, that boy has no stinger. He's just got 2
he
little
doesn't even
legs.
have legs.
No, he does. He's got
Oh,
2
wow.
little legs that he can kick inaffectionately at you. Do you know what it is? That's what it is. They've just tried to make them minions. The little minion bees, aren't they?
Yeah, they
So
are.
true.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah,
Because it's the little legs that did it. The little minion legs.
somebody was really bad at arms and legs.
Do you know what? If you could look at the thumbnail, if you could see the thumbnail of the video, you would also say me as well. When see, they made those horror films of that Winnie the Pooh thing, but who was it that did was it those 3 guys, the original Winnie the Pooh thing, the dub thing.
Oh,
It's so much better.
Dubbed Out.
Yeah, no, it's their original channel though. That Winnie the Pooh thing comes from 3, like there's 3 guys they dubbed over the fucking live action Winnie the Pooh with fucking what's his face, Ewan McGregor, and then they turned that into a horror, and it's so much better than anything they could have made in those films, even if they had money. Blood is thicker than honey.
Could I find that if I type in Winnie the Pooh horror dub?
Yeah, I think it.
I
make
want
it-
to see this.
You're gonna make. I think it's Winnie the Pooh. Dub it out. I'll just dub it out. It's Djibouti dubs.
Yeah.
It's Djibouti dubs.
I found it.
Yeah, Djibouti dubs Winnie the Pooh thing. It's the best. Before we get back into this cinematic masterpiece, somebody released it. I don't know if anybody cares, but everybody should know if they don't. Somebody released. Somebody from inside the fucking production released a fucking 11-minute fucking teaser trailer for Kung Fury 2 last night.
What?
Yeah, and oh my god, is it amazing? It's so good. It was finished like a year and a half ago, but they
Wait,
fucking
am I thinking of the same movie?
yeah, the one that's like all 80s style-esque, and then they fight Hitler at the end. Fuck you, Kung Fury.
I've never
Yeah.
seen this.
Oh, it's so good. After all of this, everybody should watch Kung Fury. Kung Fury's only like half an hour long. It's the best thing.
What?
Anyway.
It is David Hasselhoff?
Yes, and he's a cow.
Sonny and Pat.
No.
Right.
Not Triceracop.
Oh, and Triceracop. Hackerman. Barbariana. It's got fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger as the president, and he's got a shotgun, but the shotgun is also like an American flag eagle.
Of course it is.
Dude, if you've never watched Kung Fury, you need to watch Kung Fury. It's so good. It's an 80s cop. Oh, right. Yeah.
I've seen parts of it.
Oh, it's only like half an hour long. It's so great. But anyway, we're people here to watch us suffer.
Bailey the dog is a very kind friend indeed. I'm sure you've thanked him for showing you the way to this field.
Sunny and Petal realize they have not thanked Bailey the dog for his amazing gift.
No, Queen Buttercup.
We forgot.
Sunny, Petal, you know the importance of being thankful, don't you?
We're not sure, Queen Buttercup.
Why is it so important to be thankful?
Sunny and Petal, why
You're
don't you
gonna
go see
burn
your
in
good friend Chumps?
hell.
No, if you don't believe in God, go.
What the fuck?
Well, bees don't make the same noises as humans. We know this. This is known. This is known to science. You don't.
They had to give them like a buzzy voice, so they kind of overdid it in places, I guess.
Well, I suppose when you look at that shape, you have to imply that the bees somehow, right? Because you might think they were like weebles or something. I don't know. I mean,
I
it
don't
could
know.
be. But bees have a different kind of culture, so.
If you showed this to me and didn't tell me it was bobblebees, I wouldn't know what animal that is.
Yeah, especially the fact that it's among flying garret mushrooms.
Yeah. The
Come on,
blue
Mr.
thing
Diaz,
in
you
the
should
head.
join in and laugh at bees with us.
It's the field mouse. I'm sure he'll love to teach you two about the importance of being thankful.
We will, Queen Buttercup.
We'll go see Chomps right away.
Run along, little ones.
That flying. Look at that graceful flying motion.
Sunny and Petal fly to see Chomps the field mouse to learn
I mean, to be fair, I've seen a bumblebee fly, so I suppose it is pretty lifelike. They don't move very well.
why it's so important to be thankful.
Hey, Chomps.
Hi, Chomp.
Look at those eyes!
Hey, it's Sunny and
Yeah.
Petal. What
Just let me
brings
put it back
you?
on
We
the
will, Queen Buttercup.
Oh, I've put it back far
We'll
too
go
far.
see Chomps right away.
I've put it back far too far. I'll
Run
forget this
along,
one.
little
No,
ones.
especially on longer videos. I just need to. I need to get the
Sunny and
insanity of
Petal
these fucking
fly to
eyes.
see Chomps the field mouse to learn why it's so important to be thankful.
Hey,
That is teaching kids about Jesus. Look at it.
Damn.
What- When you look at that, don't you just see how it craves that you worship our true Lord and Savior?
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought.
I looked into those eternally beautiful eyes, and I said, "You know what? Yes, it is Jesus."
hey, Chomps.
Hi, Chomp.
Hi, Chomps.
Hey, it's Sunny and Petal. What brings you this way?
Bailey the dog helped us find a field of clover.
You always gotta love like the worst. You always gotta love like like these like really bad Christian things, and they've got no voice actors. They're like, "Hey, Dave, Bill, you do a voice," and they go, "Okay, hi, I'm a rat." Is that what you want? I don't know. I'm not a director, but you said the lines.
Yeah. How would a dog be better at finding a field of clover than a bee?
I don't know. Maybe the scent, the smell, but that's the only thing it could be. Ah, see? Did you see what I did there? Oh, he's dropped.
Sorry, I had to ask.
Oh, he's back. See, you apologized that he came straight back. Do you know what, Joe?
Yeah.
Maybe you are Jesus. Maybe we were all wrong.
No.
You are.
I mean,
I tried to walk on water once. It didn't work.
For using his sense of smell.
But we forgot to thank him.
We're not even sure why it's so bad that we forgot.
Queen Buttercup said you would explain to us the importance of saying thank you.
Oh, well, Sunny and Petal, if you'd like, I'll tell you a story that will show you why it's so important to be thankful.
All hail Joseph! Forget Sir David Attenborough. Here he is, our
Yes,
eternal
yes.
Lord and Savior.
I'm
Joseph.
ready to come into. I'm ready to come into you.
Oh, 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 Joseph H. Christ. Oh.
Yes. Let me come in your heart.
I mean, wow, that very specific action now, isn't it?
That is what Jesus would do.
I suppose. Do you know what, Becky? You're right. It is what Jesus would do, and we should all do what
Yes.
Jesus would do, right?
Yes.
Story?
Yes, a beautiful story from the Bible.
We would like that very much, Chomps.
All right, then. This
We would like that very much, chaps. Man, these voice actors, they only get better.
is how the story goes.
As Chomps begins to tell the story, little Sunny and Petal listen in, making sure they don't miss a single word.
Once Jesus entered a village where he was met by 10 lepers. The lepers called out, "Jesus, Master, have mercy!"
Jesus!
Damn. That could get clipped.
I really
Somebody
wish
needs
I
to
had that.
clip that.
I really wish I had that wrestling go. Jesus! You know, it's powerful stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's real powerful stuff.
Hey, Scotty.
Jesus!
Oh, damn.
Be on us. When
Oh, I'm theatrical. I love it. I love it when people that don't know how to do like voice acting and this like just they go, I'm going to do voice acting. I must rattle my voice. It's the only way to sound good. I suppose that's half my act. Damn.
Jesus saw the poor men, he said to them, "Go and show yourselves to the priests." And as they went, they were cleansed.
Jesus helped them get well.
They had to show themselves to the priest.
Damn.
Sounds like this Catholic stuff's been going on a lot longer than we thought.
Hey, well, it had to start somewhere, and it might as well start with the source.
Yeah. Might as well start with the lepers. They're not going to tell anybody.
You know, it just dawned on me how crazy, manipulative, and disgusting it is that somebody even made this. Like, was this made by Ken Ham?
No, I think this might be originally Spanish, or like from Central America somewhere, maybe Mexico or something, and then it's been translated. But I might be wrong about that.
Jesus
if Ken Ham made it, they would be on the ark. He only has one track that he goes on. Yeah, all this would take place on the ark.
Yeah, he's either he's got that, or Kent Hovind's kid. Just I'm thinking of the wrong person. Never mind. Oh well.
Yeah.
Oh, I need this for my mouse.
Oh, the conspiracy theories that are going to develop off of this in 20 years are going to be awesome.
I do sometimes I sometimes wish time travel was true, just so I could go to the future just to see what people think from like finding early internet stuff or whatever.
I've thought about that. I almost wonder if like YouTube comment people are going to like become celebrity, like philosophy, like the way we look at like Socrates and Aristotle. There'll be like some people that are like just killed it so hard in comments that they're
around
like celebrities.
2016, the whole Western world was taken by storm by one Jordan B. Peterson, a mental mind that took over the world, and say, "Oh Jesus, that's how we're going to be remembered."
Emperor Jordan Peterson.
Especially like all people try. It's good, or like people like finding these troves of ancient memes. What did this mean?
Yeah.
Somebody said in the chat, the Kentucky Messiah. I should so change my channel name to that.
Yeah.
That is that would I don't know. They may shut me down if I do it though. I don't know.
No, you just make make a second channel where you pretend to be Christian and you shout at things. You put your Bible on stuff.
Well, it's tempting to change it to that and put a picture of like just Photoshop my head on the crucifixion.
Yeah.
And yeah. Oh, it's tempting.
Or put Jesus's head on Colonel Sanders' body.
Yeah.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. Kentucky Fried Jesus.
That's a song, isn't it?
It should be if it isn't.
No, I'm pretty sure it's an old Catscan song, isn't it? Is it Catscan?
The Kentucky Fried Movie is awesome, by the way.
Oh yeah, one of those old sexploitation films. They were the best.
Yeah, I think is that Grindhouse, Kentucky Fried Movie?
No, it was like comedy sexploitation. Because it'd be like, hey, here's Mindy and Sandy in their famous role, and then it'd be like two naked women rolling down a hill.
Yeah.
He did. When one of the cured men saw that he was healed, he turned back, praising God with a loud voice, and he fell on his face at Jesus' feet, giving him thanks. He was a Samaritan. Then Jesus answered, "Were not 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9? Was no one found to return and give praise to God except this foreigner?" Then he said to him, "Rise and go your way. Your faith has made you well."
Wow, Chomps!
The way he told that story is like, well, all 10 of them got healed, but this is the only one that came back, so whatever.
Yeah, right now the moral of the story is say thanks so I can tell you to fuck off. Like,
oh yeah, but you got to remember this is for children, isn't it? You got to remember it's for children. So say thanks or else. Otherwise, they're going to make you go on a magical journey through some meadows. You might see a mouse. Yeah.
What a wonderful story.
Now, Sonny and Petal, which of these men would you rather be? The one who went their way, or the one who remembered to turn around and praise God for his help?
A very important question.
Yeah.
What would you rather be?
The men who went their way, or the man who praised Jesus and then went his way anyway? I mean, I think we could probably just skip a step. I don't like what good came. There's no payoff to the fable, right? Like,
well, no,
it's just
you just be happy. Just say thanks, and that's all that matters, right?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of implication going on here, but like, I mean, if you take the story as it is, though, and this is for kids, they're going to be like, well, they just went and did their thing. He said thanks, and Jesus said, "Okay, you came, bye." Like, it doesn't. There's no payoff to the saying thanks. Like,
so yeah. So basically, it's just do you not feel better? And then if you don't feel better,
thank you, fuck you, bye, boom.
That's the whole point, isn't it?
Oh, that clip was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, fuck you, bye, boom.
Thank you, Jesus.
Hey, I wanted to say, just because I haven't told anybody about this yet, have you ever bumped into Standing on Scripture Ministries on YouTube? He comes into these sort of debate chats all the time.
Maybe.
Well, anyway, he's potentially the most devout Christian I've ever run into before. And he just posted a video yesterday or today, and he's gone as far as to call me satanic and like rage out on me before, even just for saying that 2 Peter might not be authentic. And yesterday he posted a video saying that if there is a God, it's not the God of the Bible. Jesus was not, like, he fully walked away from Christianity.
Damn.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, he posted, it was like an 11-minute video of him just explaining how he doesn't believe it anymore. I was like, holy shit.
Well, you know, people come to the senses sometimes.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, I thought.
Well, when even for like the apologists that make content on YouTube, I think they cover so much stuff and they're confronted with so much that they have to make a choice. Like, I'm either going to be dishonest for God, or I'm going to have to change my position, because I've watched. You know, I don't know. I've been involved in I don't know how many conversations where we get down to this point and it's like the only thing they have left is like solipsism or something. And like, I think you have to either like be willing to be dishonest, or if you're really looking at it with an open mind, you have to change your mind, because it's the Bible's awful.
Well, they've got like whole little cottage industries of telling each other that actually it's fine and okay, and don't worry about it. Don't worry about what's going on in your head. It's all wrong. Like, they have little shops you can go to, and little resorts you can go to, and cruises. They have all the stuff.
His ultimate reason for leaving was the inaccuracies in the Bible, and text, like things that were added, and forgeries and polemics and things like that. Like, it was actually it wasn't even the problem of evil itself. It was actually him just realizing that some of the shit in the Bible wasn't true, and it was so fixed in his mind that it was like every word of the Bible was true, that when he even discovered one word not being true, it was such a shock to his system that he finally was just like, holy shit.
See, I take a weird position as an atheist. I think the problem of evil is shit.
Yeah, I think it. I agree.
I don't think it's very good.
Same.
I think divine hiddenness is the best one.
I think when you use it with other things, like when you look at the problem of deception and then bring in the problem of evil, I think that then you're working with something. But I think on its own, the problem of evil doesn't really get you anywhere.
No. It doesn't even go outside of his nature, to be honest. Like, the Bible is the only explanation of his nature, and he's more evil than loving in the Bible.
Well,
absolutely.
I totally see the problem of evil just goes, no, he's not all loving. That's the only thing it goes against. But I suppose people.
Can you think of an example, actually?
Say that again.
Ahead, sorry. I was just wondering if you could think of an example, even one example where Yahweh was loving, because I just realized I couldn't even think of one just now.
Well, I mean,
I can't either, to be honest. But I mean, there must be somewhere though.
I mean, supposedly he saved the Hebrews in the Exodus, but
the problem with that is yes, he did take them away from Israel, and then immediately went, do you know what? You're all a bunch of cunts. Fuck you.
Yeah, I was going to say, as long as you only look at the first half of the story, because then he sends snakes to bottom and lets them starve to death, and like.
Imagine that 40 years in the desert after having like shelter and food and like livestock and stuff, and then they're just stuck in the fucking desert with nothing. They were probably like, let us go back to Egypt.
Oh, I've just remembered something. So last night, I ended up on, not last night, was it yesterday? It was whenever Joe might have been streaming the other day. I can't remember what it was. When was that, Joe? Was that Thursday? I can't remember. No, it's Friday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on Friday, I decided, fuck it, I'm going to start going on to like, Christian fucking, thingies until they ban me. So I went into Mike Wenger's, he was streaming. I nearly got banned for just asking about the Tales of Gilgamesh. Not even in a nasty way. I wasn't being nasty in the slightest. And they're like, can you stop talking about that? Are you not going to be allowed on the channel? And it's like, what? You've got to talk about things that are related to the Bible. And it's like, fuck off. It's totally related. What about all that Jesus imagery? But, you can't have that.
Wow, that's a wild claim to say that the Epic of Gilgamesh and the Bible aren't related.
Yeah, but, we spoke to someone who would very much voraciously say such things. How dare you say that there's any similarities at all? There's nothing. It's not even the same in the slightest. They don't even use the same words. All right, let's get back to.
Oh, Chomps, we want to be like the one who turned around.
The one who praised God.
I imagine so, little bees. Then go on now and behave like good little bees. Good little bees who don't forget to give thanks to their friends or to the Lord.
We will, Chomps. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Chomps.
You see, don't you love how they go, hey?
Is he
I know
Paul?
you did all the work, right? But you have to thank the Lord for you doing all the work. Get it in there early, you know.
Who is this? Who is the mouse? Is it Paul?
No, he's just some random mouse.
Oh, okay. I thought they were like one-to-one figures or something.
BS Lewis, I'll explain it sometime, but I'll tell you why I disagree with your position.
Damn. Yeah, he doesn't do it in the early parts of Genesis because they aren't Hebrews or Israelites yet. I don't know. That's about it.
Well, I mean, Genesis starts out based on deception, so I don't know.
Damn.
Yeah.
Strong words.
Debate me, bro.
There's nothing to debate. It's just I'll just explain to you why I don't think it's very good.
The invite link is pinned. You want to debate, brah?
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about it if you want to come on and talk about it. I don't care.
This is actually an interesting topic. I wouldn't mind hearing both of your positions. I like this topic. It comes up a lot from Christians.
I mean, if you don't debate him, I'm going to play more Bible Bees. I think that's how it's going to work.
Let's go see Bailey.
And thank him, too.
Yeah, you can use it as a threat.
Little bees Sunny and Petal fly to see
Wow.
their friend Bailey the dog.
Wow.
Bailey!
Bailey!
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm out debating Kent Hovind and stuff. You're
Yeah, come on, Mr.
Come
Yes,
on now.
you come on and show him what you're worth, brah. Come on, brah.
I've debated Kent Hovind. I'm ready for you. Oh, boy.
Sounds like Joe's scared. Wow. I think you two need to like meet up next to the bike racks after Bell, because like you know, as long as none of y'all got detention, 3 out of 10 bike racks. Let's get this shit turned, son.
Petal.
We wanted to thank you
Shut up, BS, and just come on.
for helping us find the field of clover today.
Because of you, we'll collect enough pollen to help feed our entire hive all winter long.
And then we get to find out how Jesus steals all the glory.
Do they show Jesus?
What, this dog?
No, do they show Jesus in this? Do they equate him to some creature? The
No,
dog
look
is
at the dog.
Jesus?
No, look at that dog's eyes, and you tell me you don't see Jesus?
He's peaceful.
Word up, yo. Holler at your boys now. Of course, that dog is Jesus. It looks like another dog from something else. I can't put my fucking finger on it.
You're very welcome, little ones.
We
You're
also
very
want
welcome.
to thank God for helping us.
I'm fat, and in a cartoon, we can only have one voice.
That's how I talk normally. What the hell?
I'm sorry, Joe. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
And I am ashamed. Oh, what? Oh,
Moving on. Oh, okay.
Us too.
Yeah. God gave us a great friend like you, Bailey.
who helped us find the clover field.
That will give us tons of pollen
to make lots of honey
to help feed the entire hive all winter long.
Ah, yes, little ones. God is always there for you. Never forget to give thanks.
I love you. You love me. No one remembers Barney. But that's totally Barney voice right there. I thought it was Patrick at first, but it's totally Barney.
Yeah, it's Barney.
Yep.
It's different for bees. They don't, they have a hive mind. So really, it's always just the one thing. It's not really.
These are first century bees.
Yeah.
These aren't modern day bees. These are first century bees.
And they don't give a shit.
They really do think kids are stupid, don't they? Yes, they do, because they're dumb as fuck.
Yes.
And then they've had kids.
A child's mind is for molding the way that you want it, in their view.
Yeah, and unbeknownst to them, there's lots and lots of side effects to everything. And they go, what's the side effect? Don't care about side effects. Believe or I'm going to kidnap you and send you to a foreign climate.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Kidnap for Christ is a great film if no one's watched it.
Thanks to him for the blessings in your life.
We won't.
We promise.
Are you happy for the blessings in your life? After you've talked about doing all the work for all the people for all year?
I love the blessings in my life.
You should be blessed to do all the work and take no credit. By the way, when rich people do it, it's fine too. Is Barney supposed to have feathers? Yes.
We'll never forget to give thanks to God.
And to all those in our life who help us. Like Queen Buttercup.
What's that bee looking at?
And John.
The soulless dead eyes of a killer, so I'm not 100% sure. They could be looking for, exit ways after they kill everyone around them.
He's looking down towards the waist of the dog.
They're animals. They just walk around in the nude. So
maybe the dog brought his red rocket.
Hey, maybe he really likes bees. Maybe that's why he likes Jesus. That's why a bunch of...
I really love bees. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, that probably got me that one.
Chomps. And you, Bailey.
That's a wonderful thing you learned today, little ones. And speaking of help, your thankfulness will be rewarded. Follow me.
Thanks to their friend Bailey,
here comes the crucifixion.
Sunny and Petal have discovered another secret field.
Well, he's taking him to the blood orgy! Blood orgy!
Yeah. I want to know who made this background and said, oh, well, you probably can't see what I can see. Do you still see the bee, just one bee on screen? And there's a red arrow? Oh, it's gone now. Never mind.
Are you behind?
Go ahead, sorry. Yeah, the video lags when you pause it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I read.
Never mind. Just go ahead. Oh yeah.
Sorry. Yeah,
sorry.
I don't know. I read one of them. I don't know enough about them individual translations to talk like that. So I don't know. But it was the one that was all of them.
God, who's gonna read that more than once?
I know. Foolish me.
Yeah. I wouldn't I wouldn't be interested in reading it again with 6 words different in the whole book.
No, you gotta eat out. I don't know. Do you know what? To be fair though, the Epic of Gilgamesh is actually pretty fucking good. For
no, it is.
Considering that it was made 4,000 years ago, It's actually quite an entertaining story and has funny bits in it and everything.
It really does. I often imagine them making it into like a modern day movie, even if it was just like a half-hour short. Like that would kill so hard.
Yeah.
Oh, they've made several.
Well, Gilgamesh.
Well, it takes parts of Gilgamesh, and then there's a mini series like of movies they made too that goes through most of it.
I think not that I watched it, but I think I saw it on a site and nearly downloaded it.
Yeah. No, I mean it's an awesome story. I'm just saying, like, it's a really that's a big read. That's not like you're not going to just sit down and read that. And
well,
to read.
Sorry, go on.
To read multiple translations of it, just for a few differences, just seems a bit much because it's a lot.
Well, see, the thing is, I think more with the translation stuff with this is that we got better with, like, they are kind of different because we got better with cuneiform. Some of these translations come from like the 1800s or like early 1900s, and they just
sure,
better and more precise. Plus, we found there's also like places where we found other fragments, and we're like, well, we could put that there, so that's more of it done. Hooray!
Well, I mean, maybe I'm kind of lazy about it because a lot of times, like, I'll either read or listen to an audiobook, and then I'll go look at like the scholarly opinions on it, and instead of like trying to go through it all again, I defer to others once I've already read the content and see, because I think anything important that comes up that way, they'll talk about it, and since I've read the book at that point, I understand the conversation, so.
No, I thought,
I'm lazy. I'm just saying I'm lazy.
Yeah,
I need Jesus.
To be honest, it's not even lazy to read them once. What do you want about?
Well,
it's not though. Most people don't even read them that amount of times, and will still talk about them like they've read them.
That's so.
I do a lot of audiobooks these days.
I'm a big audiobook because I can listen to, I can play video games. I could fucking edit stuff on like Photoshop or whatever, and I can just have an audiobook on, listen to it when I'm walking and shit. And
yep, I do the same.
My Audible library is amazing.
Mine is. The amount of fucking great courses shit I've got on there is ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah. It's just all, listen to this lecture, and I'm like, okay, I'm a dry motherfucker. Yeah. To be honest, I've been thinking about fucking maybe streaming them on my Discord. If people want to listen to them, just have them on at some point. I don't know. We'll see.
So,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh.
No.
So whenever I went to college, when I went to college and studied computer science, I had to do a lot of math. And then after I got out of school and I got into physics and stuff, I would watch whole courses on physics to try and learn how to apply the math in physics because I didn't understand a lot of the variables and stuff that they use for physics. And but so I watched a lot of those big long courses to learn how to do that stuff. BS, I'm gonna kick your ass. What's up, man?
What up, yo?
No way.
I'm here to defend the honor of the problem of evil.
Oh no! Oh no!
Hey, really quick, could I ask a question before you guys get into this?
Yeah.
For Zach, when we were talking to Kelvy from the Christian Sodium channel, the Christian, you brought up the point. You had corrected me about King David being born or living from 12 to 1400, which you're correct. It was around 1000 BCE.
Yeah,
and I've always thought that King David chronologically would have been during the same time that the Merneptah Stele was talking about Israel being laid to waste.
Yeah,
and it turns out it wasn't, and then that was a couple hundred years prior. And I'm just trying to remember, like, according to biblical chronology, like according to the Jews, what was happening during the time that the Merneptah Stele was actually made?
Well, depending on who you speak to, there's some people that think that that's when the Exodus happened.
Right. It must have
because
been
it's 14 generations or 40 generations or some shit before everything. Do you know what I mean?
40 generations.
It's either 14 or 40. There's like special number of generations that's said in like Chronicles
Oh,
or
okay.
Kings or some shit, or maybe it's just Judges. I don't know, but there's some bit that goes like, oh, it was so many generations before Solomon's temple was built.
Okay, interesting. I want to figure that out because that raises some interesting points. Because like if the Bible talks about them prospering in the year, around 1200 chronologically, and we know that Egypt is decimating them.
Yeah, that's
not good for their argument.
No, but then there's other people. Like I covered a guy on a stream a while ago who on Monday a couple of weeks ago, he just went, "Hey, do you know what?" He tried to basically make out that the Hyksos was Moses, but without mentioning the Hyksos, and used all the evidence of the Hyksos and the Hyksos invasion and coming out and all sorts. So people will like stoop to all sorts of things to like, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So let's
all right.
Let's hear this.
So let me explain my position first, BS, before we go, so you don't misunderstand what I'm saying.
Okay.
I think that the problem of evil. I think that Yahweh is evil and demonstrates that, and I have no problem with saying it questions the omni properties of God. The issue is that on its own, it requires that you know things you don't know about God's mind and what God is the bigger picture of things for an all-knowing being. It requires that you place some kind of intent on God. And I think that it's correct that God is evil, but as an argument on its own, I think that philosophically they just squirm out of it. That's why I don't like it.
That's fair enough. I've actually
can I just a sec? I have a different reason why I think the problem with evil shit, because it doesn't disprove God in the slightest. It just says he's not all good.
Yeah.
So you have to keep in mind what the motive is for using the problem of evil.
Wait, BS, before you start, I'm gonna. I've got to. Oh, come on, play the thing. It's not playing the thing. Never mind. Go on.
It's beautiful.
That was good. That was a good segue into what I'm going to say.
Hurry up. Hit him in the knees, Zach. Hit him in the knees.
So I know people personally and online who have atheists who have said that the problem of evil has deconverted them. So if that's your goal, is to use the problem of evil to plant that seed of doubt, to cause a deconversion, it works. And go ahead.
I think that's whatever works is right for that conversation. I don't disagree with any of that. I think whatever helps you get through to someone. I mean, as long as you're not being dishonest or something like that. Like whatever position you take that helps walk somebody through it is good. I just don't for that occasion. Overall, though, I just don't like it. Is all.
Yeah, best case scenario, you're going to get somebody to deconvert. Worst case scenario, they're just going to change the mind of what type of God they believe in.
What's it called? Never mind. Go ahead.
I did it.
Sorry, I smoke a lot. I smoke a lot of weed.
So my problem with the problem of evil and how it's currently or commonly addressed is that people don't use the strongest form of it. The logical problem of evil is different than the experiential. A lot of times people use the problem of suffering, which isn't the problem of evil. It's just like a subset. The problem of evil is an overarching logical problem that has many subsets, like the problem of suffering, the problem of animal pain and suffering, yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to lay out some premises and a syllogism for you guys, and I want you to tell me if you agree or disagree.
BS means business. Yeah. BS means business today.
So everybody's welcome to partake in this, Andy, you too. Premise 1, God is omnibenevolent, omniscient, and omnipotent from the Christian point of view.
Yeah.
Agree, disagree?
God is triomni. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Premise 2 is that evil exists, and evil is defined in this premise as what is contrary to God's omnibenevolent nature or will. So we're going definitional. We're going definitional here because you already agreed he's omnibenevolent. You've already been sucked into the definitional problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, but benevolent doesn't mean that you don't have to let evil happen.
Okay. Well, so you agree that evil exists then? You agree with premise 2?
Well,
I agree with that. I agree with this.
Yeah.
In the Christian framework.
Yeah.
Premise 3, prior to creation, in a world of God alone, it would be logically impossible for evil to exist because of his omnibenevolent nature.
No, I think Christians can get around that by saying he's teaching others with other
Could you repeat it?
In a world of God alone, prior to creation, it would be logically impossible for evil to exist.
I don't know on that one. I don't know
what I mean?
Because
damn, that's a good question.
There's some things to discuss in that one. I don't know. So,
if the only thing that exists is all good, then nothing else exists that is contrary to that, as we define evil.
But the Bible also says all that God does is good. So,
well, it also says that all evil comes from God too.
Yeah. God created evil, but it's for good.
You're skipping ahead to my conclusion here. So with all those 3 premises here, we have God is omni-everything, premise 1. Evil exists, premise 2. And before creation, evil didn't exist, premise 3. The conclusion is, through the act of creation, God created evil. He was either unwilling, unable, or didn't know it was going to happen.
It depends on. I would say it would depend, from the Christian point of view, depend on how fundamentalist you are, because God was in the waters with chaos, so evil was with God before things were made.
You could argue that evil is in his nature too. If we say that God is unchanging, then the fact that he causes evil, like later Isaiah 45:7, he says, I cause all good and all evil. That would imply that that's always been his nature, is to have evil too. So that you could make the argument that evil did predate humanity in God.
You've just dropped his omnibenevolent nature at that point.
Yeah. I know there's issues with it from no matter which angle. That's why I hate the fucking omnis.
So this is where we start to diverge. I think whenever you say that God is unwilling or unable, I think that goes and says that you somehow know the reasoning of God beyond the present moment. Because if we're talking about a triomni being that knows everything that's to come, that evil that exists could be for a greater good cause, and you have no way of knowing that, and so you're inserting your own reasoning into the mind of God, and so, you have no reason to know if God reasons that way.
You're knocking on the door of getting rid of premise 2, that evil exists, because remember how we defined evil, that it's by definition contrary to God's omnibenevolent nature or will. If he wills it,
I knew we were coming
evil.
Back to that.
Yeah, so if he wills it, it's not evil.
Right.
Greater good this covers the greater good theodicies and all that stuff, because the greater goods are basically saying that the evils aren't evil because they produce greater goods.
So if God is subjective or objectively good, then those things that we see as evil are just evil to us, not to God.
Yep, they're not evil by his definition of being contrary to his will or nature.
Right.
And so
I think
that's it. The only ways to get rid of this is to drop one of the omnis, become a Calvinist or an open theist, or deny that evil exists altogether. Christians usually don't want to do any of those.
Well, see, they do it. They always, but you're forgetting there's
wrong.
another Christian option that hasn't been mentioned. The devil does it, right? Because for some Christians, the devil is more powerful than God.
That's premise 3. You're gonna have to say that the devil existed before creation in order for that to work.
So
he did. It says in the Bible chronology that he did, I believe. In
No, it
Job,
doesn't.
that was before. Oh no, right.
The devil is a created being.
What am I
according to
thinking
The
of?
devil's not properly in the Bible.
Oh no, it
Well,
just says that some. It does says that some gods predate
Yeah.
creation, not necessarily the devil himself.
But I don't mean
So-
just creation of the world as we know. I mean the creation of angels and demons and everything. So
Oh,
the
okay.
creation of the devil would be included in that.
Right. I think that I think again you run into this issue of there's also an option where evil to an individual is not the same as evil on the larger scale to God. And so and I'm not saying I agree with this. I'm just saying this is why whenever you talk to an apologist, they try to squirm out of this argument, is because then God created evil and eventually things that are evil in order to tempt man, so that those that are deviants and bad people are tempted and taken away from God, and the elect and everyone else it gives a path to God. So you can make the argument that there is a greater good to creating evil.
So I agree with you. That's why I was careful in formulating the definition of evil in premise 2 the way I did, because it's dependent on God, not on man. And so I understand people say, why bad thing happened? That's the common thing. Oh, why bad thing happened? That's not what I'm getting addressed. My definition is to skirt around that, to say that because we've already defined God as omnibenevolent. We've already ontologically said he's all good. Whatever is contrary to his nature and will is bad. So it's making it dependent on that first premise, making it stronger.
How much of the definition of evil did you use the definition of evil, and how much did you insert yourself?
This is a philosophical argument. This isn't a biblical one. I understand, but I also think that the philosophical God isn't the biblical God. This is to knock the shit out of precepts and philosophers.
Yeah.
Philosophically, I think you can argue for deism poorly, and that's it. With philosophy alone, anyway.
You'll be dropping premise 1.
Right. I think whenever you defined evil, like, again, give me your definition of evil again, real quick.
Since we defined God as omnibenevolent in premise 1, premise 2's definition of evil is that which is contrary to God's nature or will.
Yeah. So how do you know God's nature or will?
I don't need to know it for the argument. It's a definitional argument.
Right.
We're talking ontologies, not epistemologies. So just by it definitionally existing, I don't have to say I know this or I know that. All I have to say is that I have a suspicion that right now, in this current point in history, there is something going on in the world that God doesn't like for evil.
Sure. I think, though, that the Bible says, though, that those things are God's will.
Then they're not evil according to definition 2 or premise 2.
Well, right. Because again, I think that's whenever you get into what is evil to us is different to a being who you've said is objectively good, right? So what we call evil doesn't actually exist for God, because it's a different being.
Yeah,
it's evil upon man, but
historically speaking, Voltaire was living in a time where this was going on as the main thing of the era, that everything is going according to God's plan. And so he became famous for his satire because he's like, well, what about the cancer? What about the parasites? This and that. He's poking jabs because everybody around him who was in this philosophical haze of Christianity was thinking that this is all God's will right now. You know, all the bad stuff that's going that we think is good because it's according to God's will. He's poking fun at him. And my point being that people have tried this approach in times past where they just ignore what we would think was bad and just say it's good because it's God. God's good. It's going on. There's no reason why anything that God wouldn't want going on is going on.
God's will be done.
Yeah, which is harmful.
So let me rearrange some things real quick. So you and I have talked at length about the problem of deception and all that, right? So whenever you start talking about how the Bible describes the characteristics of God, right? It's very similar later to the characteristics of Satan in the New Testament. I think that when you take that and you say, see, there's this problem of deception that goes all the way back to the beginning of the Bible, and I'm not going to go over the points, you know them, but then you say, and evil exists, which supports that first point, and I just like it better that way. Is all. It's not a, you know.
Yeah, the problem of deception is like a subset of the problem of evil. It's like a conjunction when somebody refuses to let go of premise 2. Then you start challenging premise 2 with the problem of deception.
I think it lets you get away from trying to explain the mind of God. It takes away from that and says, I have evidence that supports this position. You know, like I don't think that you're wrong or anything. That's not what I'm saying. I don't think it's effective many times with especially the philosophy bros.
No, they have their reasons around, but if you hold their feet to the fire on this, they're gonna have to end up dropping one of the 3 premises. Say that Satan exists before creation, or that God has an evil side to him, like that existed before creation. These are all denying the first omnibenevolent properties, or the famous just ignore evil, like a Calvinist, like White and Durbin, where they're like, oh yeah, God caused the Holocaust, you know, it's all according to his will. They're just ignoring evil exists completely.
Yeah. Well, I think whenever you get into like what is evil and the philosophical explanation of evil and why evil exists without presuping a God, I think that I think that's all great stuff, and it may just be the case that I have a bias towards the problem of evil on its own, and so I don't care much for the argument on its own because it doesn't. I don't do well with it, I guess.
It'll depend on, like you said earlier, who you're targeting with it. Like if you're targeting some kind of autist who has like very strong, just the facts, ma'am. You know, little emotional attachment to the arguments. It'll work better on them. If somebody's super emotionally involved, like I love Jesus, you're gonna have a hard time. But that's where it's great about the problem of evil is you could have 2 prongs to attack, and for the love people, you get them to question, well, what is love? Is love a parasite?
Got to do with it.
I was thinking, what is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
Don't drown me no more. No, that's the real song, not the other one. What do you want about?
Because they have to explain why drowning is a loving act.
Because
I think
the cleansing waters of the baptism need to fill your lungs to reach all the darkest corners so his light can reach into you.
Well, remember, God's ultimate goal isn't to make you have a great experience here. God could care less about your physical form. It's all about the afterlife. So just a sec.
So Ember, we're supposed to be, and for anybody who's joined in a bit later, we're supposed to be watching Bible Bees, but then Joe and BS decided to talk about the problem of evil, which is fine.
Yeah,
I over encouraged him on. So yeah,
I think that.
And thank you very much for coming on, sir.
Yeah, no problem.
I think that like the apologetics that they use to talk about morality leads into like how they're going to escape the problem of evil in many cases anyway. And what you said about like different strokes for different folks. I mean, like I talk a lot about like I think AA and NA is crap. But if it's what you use to get clean and off drugs, it's the right way for you, right?
Yeah.
And whenever we talk about these philosophical arguments, some of them are more effective on some than others, right? So, you present it well. I think that, do Christians give you a lot of shit about premise 2?
Yeah. It's the reason I formulated this defense was because I did an argument against Jim Bob's problem of evil, where I felt he's strawman the problem of evil. He gave the premise 1, like all the omnis, everybody agreed. Then he came in with problem 2, and he switched to the problem of suffering.
Yeah.
And he left the definition ambiguous and vague, then moved on to his third conclusion.
Didn't you guys do a back and forth video about this?
I just did a response. There was no back and forth.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's what it was.
Well, I think he responded to my response.
I watch all your stuff.
Well, I appreciate it.
You're one of my favorite creators, BS.
Yeah.
Yay. But I figured I had to like hammer down the proper wording, because where it'll go wrong with the problem of evil is the failure to define terms. That's why I make sure my premise 2 is well defined, and it's actually tied into the premise 1. So if you agree on premise 1, you almost default have to agree on premise 2, because you're saying that God is omnibenevolent. Which, what does that mean? All good? We can argue about what that means all day, but who cares? The details don't matter. As long as you agree that omnibenevolent is all good, then premise 2's definition of evil follows.
You inspired me, BS. If Zach will show what I shared there.
The poo wizard, huh?
Yeah.
He actually has Kent Hovind. Play it.
It did.
Oh, okay. It might be the wrong one. It should be Kent Hovind's voice saying some stuff. That might be the wrong file. I haven't pulled it out in a while, but
yeah, it's silent.
Oh, well, sorry.
So let me get this straight with your ARC protest. Is Kent Hovind actually showing up? Like,
he claims that he is.
Okay, because I started spreading that, and I was like, well, I better get some verification before I start talking shit.
So I recorded a phone call between Kent and I, where he said, the only problem was funding and stuff, but he's made a couple like little shorts type deal where he says that they are coming. So I don't know. He says he is.
Oh, that's going to make it even more exciting. Are you guys live streaming it at all?
I'm not. I'm going to have a professional recording done of the event, but I'm not going to live stream that. There will be people live streaming, though. I think Chris Mallard is going to live stream a lot of it. I'll probably make some like real short live streams and just say hi to everybody from the Ark Encounter protest, and I'll live stream some of the events we do other than the protest itself.
Rochester's asking for my take on the Epicurean. You guys want to weigh in on that too?
What is it? Go on.
It's the 2-pronged fork, where either God, whatever God says is good because God is good, or whatever, or God has to obey a system of good outside of himself, and that's why he says what is good.
Oh, yeah.
My take on it is the common apologetic response is to say, it's not because what God says is good, it's because his nature is good, and then he says it. And if you're going to have objective morality, good has to exist independent outside of God. He's just in tune with it. If you want to say divine command theory, that whatever he says is good, then you're following subjective morality.
I think that you're right. I think the apologist is going to use divine command theory and say that God is objective, though. God's morality is objective.
But the problem with like all of these arguments, and any argument that is ever even slightly good, is all they have to say is God works in mysterious ways, and none of it matters.
This is why I prefer the textual arguments myself. Like, if we can prove that stories in the Bible were stolen from earlier cultures, that's pure destruction.
I beg for apologists to go to Miracle. Like, please invoke a miracle.
Are you familiar with Dennis MacDonald's work? He's been doing some work about the New Testament stories being, copied, mimesis from Homer and Euripides and Virgil, and he makes some amazing points there. It's soul crushing. I mean, just every time you present the argument to a Christian, it's followed by 20 seconds of silence.
Well, yeah, because most of them wouldn't understand what the fuck you're talking about to begin with. They'd be like, "What, Simpson?"
Yeah,
they think
exactly. They haven't read Homer.
The Bible grew up in a bubble, basically. Yeah.
Let's be real. Your average Christian doesn't know any of this at all.
No.
Like, and that's why like apologetics is so dishonest, because they have went the extra step to understand these things, but then take the position, I'm going to defend the Bible no matter what. And the whole framework of what Christian apologetics is a dishonest position in itself. Your average Christian isn't going to hold that position, though.
Yeah, my current video I'm working on, I'm finally getting around to a takedown of C.S. Lewis. And one of his most famous points that I'm addressing in the thing is, but it's the one true myth. He was well read enough to recognize the mimesis, as Andy was saying, between the epics and the Gospels, and he just says, "Well, there's some historical grounding in this, so it's the one true myth. All the other myths were pointing to Jesus," and that's what they'll say. That's what they'll say.
Yeah. They said, all of these other ones, they were saying like it was God's response to all of the fake stories. Like, you guys want to worship these fake stories, I'll make it actually happen. Like, that's what they've said to me.
So I think that I like to find out what it is that these Christians believe, rather than just hear their arguments that they've stolen from somewhere else. So a lot of times, like, I kind of take that opportunity to shift and go to, well, okay, but why do you think these things are true? You get varying answers there, but every now and then you get someone who gives you an honest answer, and it's almost always going to be my personal experience. In which case I go to what you were talking about and say, like, well, there's these other myths, and people who believe Muhammad is the one true prophet have personal experiences that reinforce their belief in it and why they think that's true. What makes your position better than theirs, and what kind of mechanism or methodology are we going to use to arrive at that position?
And that should point out that the God of Christianity is evil, because a lot of people, once you push them into that corner, they'll say, well, we all have faith. Even you, the atheist, has faith. And I grant them that. I'm like, okay, we all have faith. Your God is a dickhead for sending everybody to hell who had the wrong faith and the wrong story, because everybody else has faith too, right?
I hate when atheists grant them faith, because it's not correct.
By what they're meaning by it, they just mean trust. And
yeah, exactly.
Well, right, but whenever they say I have faith, that definition of faith is different than the faith they're claiming you have, and it's a semantics game.
Yeah, they think belief without evidence, basically, and in my opinion, belief without evidence is non-existent. It doesn't even exist. I think that every single belief that people hold is based on some sort of minuscule evidence, whether they realize it or not.
Even if it's a thought in their head.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's equivalent to if you woke up this morning and told me that pink leprechauns were in your bedroom. Like, it's just as reasonable as that.
Well, you can't prove that they aren't.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's last Thursdayism even. It's like it's just as reasonable as those things when you get down to that conversation, because they have no evidence or even good reason to support those things or believe that they're true, but they do anyway. And you can't really do anything with that.
Yeah, that's why falsifiability and verifiability that's built into the scientific process are extremely important.
Yeah, but who cares about processes that work and provide results? You got to have faith in stuff that has always been wrong.
and what I was trying to say earlier, whenever BS hit me with the this has deconverted people, so you can either do this or not. I was going to say he's hitting me with the Pascal's wager of the problem of evil.
Well, what if you're wrong, Joe? Who knows?
Yeah. It's, you know, I mean, we all understand the problems with that position, but it's like whether it's a valid argument is different than whether apologists are going to respond that way or not.
Yeah, I don't tend to separate the emotion from the logic because we're human beings. We have both. Emotion is important for our motivations in general. And I'm not going to deny that the problem of evil actually does have emotional undertones, but if you need something to knock, God is all good all the time off the perch, like that'll be it. That's the thing to do it.
Do you know whenever I've been interacting with these creationists, I rely on the fact that I'm not good at debates. Like I use that as a strength.
So that makes you good.
Well, so I use the fact that I'm not good at it and I'm not prepared to show that you don't have to be in order to shut down these arguments, right?
Yeah.
That it's like it's that easy. Like I don't have to be Matt Dillahunty in order to argue against the exact same things because the arguments are old and tired and shit. They're just shit.
Well, it's like Alex said, it's like, well, what, we're supposed to take like arguments that like were made up by like Aquinas in the 1200s and take them seriously when the man didn't know what matter was. So like, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like the way I've approached it, because like I've started speaking to people, and like the way I'm approaching it is just like, do you see all these older texts? Do you see all these ways that it's wrong? And do you see all the similarities? Just fuck off. It's not you, okay? If it is anything, it's not the Jews, and you're based on the Jews. I'm very bad with philosophical arguments because I hate them.
Yeah.
I don't think the audience is prepared to hear a philosophical argument and understand it necessarily for the most part.
Well, that's why you got to make them little short pithy things where you can say a couple sentences, and then everybody goes,
a jab.
Yeah,
we call that a jab.
No, I'm not talking about D.S. Lewis here. I'm on about just fucking
mic dropping
argumentation. It's just fucking
So speaking of the Jews, the way that you got that guy to flip on Nazi Germany was just freaking crazy. Real time,
yeah,
dude. You're such a R word,
yeah,
because you thought that you think that they're Christian. Then he's like, wait. That actually works for this argument. You're right. They were. They were a Christian nation. I'm like, oh, this shows that there is no logical thinking at all. It's all emotional based.
Yeah.
So true.
No consistency. It was crazy to watch, man.
Honesty isn't involved. It's how does it make me feel?
Yeah. Well, there's also an element of throw as much shit as you can at the wall and see what sticks.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, Kelly threw anti-shit at the wall. He's like, this shit doesn't stick. I'm going to throw anti-shit at the wall.
Anti-shit.
You know, I've been working on a new technique, actually. I've tried it out a couple of times, and it's been kind of fruitful. And it's the technique where you get into a discussion with a Christian. It kind of requires a little bit of extra politeness. But the biggest problem I've noticed but the biggest issue I've noticed with debating Christians is them being unwilling to admit when they're wrong about something. They'll just make excuses. But if you set yourself up, if you lead them down a conversation and intentionally make yourself wrong about something, like you falsify something intentionally to make it look like, and then you defend it like, no, I'm certain, like, trust me, I've read this. And then when they let them prove you wrong, then concede to them. And that sort of, if you're being nice enough to them and you concede to them, that opens the door for them to concede. Like they'll feel comfortable enough to concede back when you prove them wrong.
I agree. That's why I give them faith. Sometimes I'll give them faith for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I usually on people like that, I get mad and cuss them out in the first 3 or 4 minutes. Have you seen my video with Eric? It's 20 minutes of me saying "fuck you" to him.
Oh no! If you want to see that, you should watch me talk to Mr. Beverly about fucking whether the universe is simulated. That I got irrationally angry about everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Atheists yelling at atheists.
I've done that before too.
Right.
Well, I mean, I'm, like, I think that you can take all of those philosophical things and whatever, and like they're great points to make and everything, especially depending on the apologist you're talking to. But they have a hard time dealing with you just being genuine and honest with them, because they don't know what to do with that, because they're being so dishonest most of the time.
Well, yeah, I got that Kelvy off guard a couple times, because like you'd say something, Andy, and I'd be like, "No, that's wrong," and he'd be like, "What? What the fuck?"
Yeah, I thought you guys were a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to go through the Bible with a Christian, like read the whole thing.
Rough.
And for some reason, we started with the book of John. We made it through like the first few chapters of John, and he blocked me and won't speak to me anymore. So maybe not the best at that.
I'm getting better.
Yeah, it's they have to. I mean, they can't. So like when we talk about Bible scholars and stuff, like a New Testament Bible scholar, very few atheists in that area, but not non-existent. But for the most part, like whoever's paying them, a lot of times what we call scholars are more like exegetes, and they have to defend from the position that the resurrection happened and Jesus was real and all that shit. And so it gets complicated into whether they're willing to give any on certain things. And most of the time, from my experience, they'll never admit they're wrong about anything. Like they'll say straight up stupid things and then defend them to the end,
Yes, they
And if you prove them wrong, they run and block you.
Yeah.
I showed Proverbs guy. I was over there and showed them they were wrong. And as soon as I did, they ended the stream.
Well, I mean, like I said before, I nearly got blocked from Mike Winger's chat just for talking about the Tales of Gilgamesh and how it relates to the Bible.
Mike Winger debating Matt Dillahunty is probably one of my favorite debates ever. It's excellent. You should watch it. I'm not going to give anything away more than that. But,
yeah, I'm surprised you're not already blocked from Wingers. I think I'm blocked from every single big apologist except for IP.
I've never went to any of them.
So
that's where I cut my teeth. I'd sit there. I got a lot of my early subs for my channel by being a wise ass and being funny in the chat, and they're like, "Ho ho ho," and they checked out my channel and subscribed. And then I got blocked.
I'm definitely banned from Inspiring Philosophy's channel because I kept on just going in his chat and asking him where the Gihon River was and why it's in Jerusalem and how it's not like in Africa.
Yeah, it's hard to deny that Eden was a real place when they give you geographical landmarks, like in the first book, in the second book, right?
It's in Saudi Arabia. It's totally not in Jerusalem. Honest. Don't worry about it. I'm Inspiring Philosophy. I mentioned a study. I'm really fucking clever, right?
That's all. I just go ahead.
Does the Bible suggest that the Promised Land is where Eden was?
No, Promised Land's Jerusalem. Okay. It's
right.
The United Kingdoms.
It's actually in Missouri.
Well, that's what I was.
Say again.
That's what I was saying. Like Missouri.
Jackson, Missouri.
Well, yeah. Well, if we're going to talk about true things, I thought we were talking about the Bible.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't suggest any place that the Eden is in Israel, does it?
No, because Eden isn't supposed to be in Israel. because it's the whole point is that you're not supposed to find it. Even its
Right.
directions are really wrong.
Well, it tells you
Look
that
for
it's
that-
bordered by Tigris and Euphrates.
Yeah,
So
but it
that's
even
easy.
says that the
Look for that.
Tigris and Euphrates are on the wrong side.
Wait,
So-
does it say that?
Yeah.
It says
That's
bordered by the Tigris and Euphrates?
It says
That's because
that,
no.
it says that
I-
Eden springs out. There's spring in Eden that breaks into four. Two are the Tigris and Euphrates, but they're the wrong way round. One of them is the Gihon, which flows through the land of Havilah, which is supposed to be somewhere in southern Saudi Arabia, and then there's the Pishon, which is supposed to run through the land of Cush, which is Ethiopia.
There's actually an
the
explanation
source-
for that. There's the explanation
Yeah.
for that is in ancient times, north was south. Look at Egypt and ancient maps of Egypt, and Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt are south and north to us.
Yeah, because the flow of the river.
Yeah, so if you're thinking that they're backwards, it's probably because the ancient people were looking things upside down.
Well, isn't the basis for
Maybe.
all that the source of those waters comes from some magical being doing something like it's the source of that water that makes it Eden.
So in doing some deep dive, because I started a Bible study last Monday, so if people have a thing in the Bible they want to talk about, let me know. So I started with creation, so I did some deep diving on it, and I was that's how I ended up going through Gilgamesh and all this shit, right? But there's one place that they keep on talking about in all these that's like this magical land, right? It's called Dillim Land, and it's an actual place that's like kind of near Bahrain, like UAE area of the Saudi Arabian Peninsula, and it was an actual kingdom, and it's mentioned as like the home of the gods, and like a couple of the stories that are related to the Bible take place there as well. So like when Atrahasis comes to the mountain, instead of like being the mountains of Ararat, it's Dillim Land. It's the mountain of Dillim Land and shit like that.
That's like where they wrestle and shit.
Yeah, so I kind of wonder if Eden is actually kind of hinting towards but I don't have any definitive proof of that.
Yeah.
It's probably by
I think-
Atlantis somewhere.
I know that like
Just-
the gardens, the Babylonian gardens were like one of the wonders of the world during the time that they stole those stories from the Babylonians. So they're most likely calling back to those.
Yeah.
Right. You would
Hanging-
think somebody
hanging
would have
gardens or
spotted.
whatever.
Sorry, Ember's just
Yeah.
dropped all the facts. It's because they lived in the Hollow Earth.
You would think somebody would have
Damn.
spotted the angel with the flaming sword by this point. Like,
Yeah, east of Eden.
I mean, have you never been to a Rammstein gig? Have you never seen a Rammstein gig? The lead singer walks around with big flaming wings and a flaming sword. That's close enough, right?
I don't watch
Yeah.
Rammstein because I hate them.
He's a cherubim.
We used to
See,
listen-
you got it.
we used to listen to that a lot in my high school days.
Wow.
Same.
I'll just as a goth, I'll just shut up.
As a goth.
What's the problem with that?
I don't know. I was more. It doesn't matter.
You haven't seen South Park where they're supposed to just look at their feet and shuffle around? Do more of that, Zach. Goth.
There's nothing more to life than smoking and drinking coffee.
Pretty much.
Barely. I mean, they outlawed porn in Kentucky, so.
No way.
Well, they didn't
true?
actually outlaw porn. They just made it to where you can't watch it.
Well,
That's pretty close to outlawing porn.
That's
Well, what they
wild. I can't
said
believe
that if
that's real.
they said that if you're going to watch it, the sites are required to see your physical ID and proof that you are of age and all that stuff. And because of privacy reasons and all that, the sites can't fulfill that ask. And it would be so much work and money to do it anyway. So the sites themselves they posted a thing that says, "Hey, you're from Kentucky. Feel free to fuck off."
Time of Alpha.
So that's when you get a VPN, dude.
Yeah.
Oh no, sure. There's ways around it, obviously, but it's just
It makes me
from
think
Kentucky aren't.
Or dumb, right? They don't know what a VPN
Yeah,
is.
there's a lot of dumb people here. Like
What's a VPN? It's like, I don't know.
the goats and cows have suffered immensely.
Right. We have a film we're supposed to be watching here.
It's Joe. All right, Joe, entertain us.
Yeah, come on. You're the Kentucky Messiah.
Put me back up there. Put me back up there.
All right, then. He's gonna do. Oh, he's going. Go on.
You bees should be thankful for Jesus because he loves you. See,
You're right. Jesus is the most special thing in the world, and I should thank him for all the work that I do.
See, we totally got to make our own animated movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
I know
a guy.
Right. Let's carry on with this
Blossoms. And everybody knows bees love alfalfa blossoms.
Wow,
What?
Bailey, this is amazing.
Alpha blossoms.
That's right, little ones. You see, I was napping in the shade a little while ago, and the wind blew a whiff of the sweetest smell.
Does that dog have any legs? Did they just make a blob and just put it in the grass?
His gut drags the ground. Of course you were sleeping in the shade, you fat, lazy fuck. Jesus.
Preach it, Joe. Preach it, son.
I'm fat shaming the dog. I shouldn't.
Damn. Wow. Do you know what, Joe? I'm just gonna have to put you up here for a second.
You're gonna
Wow,
block me.
Joe. I can't believe you would do such things here live on the internet as fat shame this poor defenseless CGI, poorly animated CGI dog. How dare you? I hope you feel ashamed.
Now I know what the bee was looking at. He was wondering where the red rocket hides under that gut.
Well, you just move it around a little bit.
You know what is funny though? Like when I first came on, Joe, like your shirt matches your skin color. I thought you were totally shirtless when I first came on.
We know up in Kentucky it does get awful warm. Sorry.
Well, I mean,
I thought they didn't allow porn in Kentucky. What the hell, Joe? You better take people's IDs, Zach.
Wow, right.
Let's see if we...
So let me just recap something. We're supposed to be watching through a children's movie about bees, right?
No, if you were a good host, you would have gave me some.
Having serious philosophical discussions about the problem of evil to,
Well, if you were a good host, you would have gave me some stripper music there.
Hey, you're on the shaking fist. If it gets a little sexual, it's not on me.
Yeah. Almost showed everybody my triple nipple.
Oh, damn. You said you make that. What are you, a fucking Bond villain?
Yeah.
He's a clairvoyant from Mallrats.
Oh yeah. Gets him every time.
Yeah.
I ever did smell.
You do have a great sense of smell, Bailey.
Yeah, I sure do. And you
Can't
know what
smell
I
the
thought?
bullshit though.
What?
I thought.
Well, no, he's a dog. He likes bullshit.
Do you smell what the dog is cooking?
It's cooking a nice bit of alfalfa, apparently. They've got a town and everything, but finding alfalfa's too hard. They don't have farming that they can build buildings. Farming was a step too far, but water wheels.
Nah.
That's bees for you. They never do things the same way as everybody else. Bastards.
Well, they don't have legs. I mean, look at them.
True.
But as soon as I see my good pals Sunny and Petal again, I'll tell them about this field too.
Really? So, after Chomps told us that amazing Bible story,
That taught us the importance of being thankful.
and we came to thank you.
It was the perfect time to show you this field too.
Wow, so to be thankful doesn't also feel great.
But in the end, you will be rewarded too.
God always
What was the reward?
rewards those who give thanks to him, little ones.
Doug's got
What reward?
I don't know, but would you disagree with those cold eyes of a psychopath killer? Yes,
he
you
is
know what?
kind of
He can
like-
give his reward is the reward. It very much is. So please, would you just stop looking at me like that, though?
I think it was a
Yeah.
veiled threat. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you get yours.
Yeah, nice reward. You like rewards, don't you?
Be awful if something happened to you.
Yeah, you get to the afterlife, eh? Yeah, you know, a nice afterlife. You like the afterlife, right? Huh? Just come with me if you like the afterlife. Blood orgy.
We'd hate to see you have a bee accident, you know.
Yeah. You wouldn't want to lose those wings one by one, falling down the stairs.
Yeah.
What a
If a
legend.
kid sat and watched this,
We'll
they
just
would
never-
they
we'll
would
just never know. Sorry, go on.
they would be stupider at the end. Like they would have less understanding of giving thanks, bees, dogs, and many other things. And do those bees only have one wing?
I think it depends on the scene. It depends on the animation budget.
Okay. Couldn't afford 2 wings.
This is most definitely not AI. This is like what 2019? This came out something like that.
Before that, I think 2015.
I think this is like 2015.
All right.
Yeah. Just guessing. I know this has been around for a few years because I've seen scenes from it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Becky's been torturing people on and off with this occasionally.
I found it a few years ago and watched it all, and then I've been
She's been subjecting people to it ever since.
It looks to me like they made clay models and then placed a 3D render of those models into the backgrounds. But whoever made their models was really bad at it.
Well, you know, it was their first time.
I mean, it could have been. I mean, I'm just, you know.
Yeah, this is
I
the
imagine
test-
it's
the
not
test
what
run
they're
for
doing
AI.
today.
This is the very first AI, everybody. You have the privilege of watching
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, it made Bible bees.
This
The
is
very
when-
first
this is
AI
when-
ever made Bible bees. We're all fucking doomed.
This is AI because this is when AI was dumb. It's not artificial intelligence; it's alternative intelligence.
Oh yeah. Do you know what, Mr. Swift? I can never underestimate how stupid Christians think people are. I'm reading through Braxton Hunter's fucking Carfax book. Man, that man thinks everyone's a toddler. So yeah, Jesus.
If these bees don't smite a frog or something, I'm going to be upset.
That man thinks ontology starts, or no, it's teleology starts with O.
Well, you know, when you're young, a bee tells you that God makes you thankful, and when you're older, you know, when a bee stings you, you go, oh, "Thank you, God. Thank you for the bee sting," because God works through bees.
With their meth mouth of 5 teeth, they tell you.
Hey, yeah. Well, you know, when you're working with the pure, unencumbered light of the Lord, you know, things happen.
Of the Lord. Where did you pull that from?
What?
The pure, unencumbered light of the Lord. That was some professional bullshit right there.
Hey,
that was professional grade.
I ran D&D for a number of years, so you have to make up all sorts of personalities.
You've been watching Trump apologists.
I mean, you know, only in my spare time.
Right.
Thank you, Bailey.
Yeah, thank you so much for all your help.
And you know what? Thank you, Joe. And thank you, B.S. Lewis, for coming on. And thank you, Joe, for coming on. And thank you, Andy, for coming on. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Becky, for being here. I'd like to thank God for letting us all be here. I'd like to thank everyone everywhere, all around the world doing their stuff and stuff like that.
Thank you, Jesus. Do you see how that dog's waving? What the actual fuck is going on with his arm? Who waves like that?
Someone who sounds like
What?
that.
Yeah. I'm waving at you.
I'm a dog. Yeah. I think those edibles are starting to kick in.
Let's go back to the hive, Petal.
Yeah, let's go tell Queen Buttercup what
The
we learned
hive.
today.
Well, it's the only way.
Sunny and Petal return to the hive to see Queen
Where's the
Buttercup
reward?
and tell her all they've learned about being thankful.
Sunny, Petal, you're back.
Yes, Queen Buttercup, we visited John.
Look at them eyes. Look at them. Do you not? Do those eyes not instill trust? Do you not look at those eyes and go, do you know what? Yes. Please enlighten me.
I don't know. I'm starting to think they're after more than pollen because the big pupils and the missing teeth.
Yeah.
Do you ever get scared that they make stuff like this and they still and like people like watch it and go, oh, cool. Like there's people like that in the world.
Sure they do.
I know,
I mean,
but like I have hard time with empathy with that thought.
So I think for a lot of people, the attempt at what they're trying to do here to teach a lesson, which they left out the reward part of it, but I think what they're attempting to do, that's like why Kenneth Copeland lies for God, right? Because it's okay to just make complete shit and whatever. If you've got a Christian message, somebody will buy it.
Well, there's the other side of this where, like, this is also supposed to be watched with, like, a parent that will then, like, be pausing it like we are, but saying, affirming things instead of pointing out how fucking ludicrous it is.
I would drink bleach if my kid made me watch this.
Well, but Bexington's
Zach.
Fun occasion with that. Whoa, wait, what? Becky got.
Becky.
Yeah?
I would be calling my kid's teacher immediately. And why have you made my kid ridiculous?
Well, hey, we like over here. But Bexington had to go to a christening this morning because the school convinced them. Because schools convinced them about religion is perfectly fine over here.
Well, they do that here too.
Yeah, but it's like in the actual curriculum, and you get graded.
Yeah, it's a little more covert here, but the
I got kicked out of RE for going. Here's what I remember: I got kicked out of RE in Year 9, which is like 2 years before you finish, or at least it used to be over here. I got kicked out because I said because I did the test and I said, "Here's what you want me to say, but here's what the real answers are," and I wasn't allowed to participate in the class anymore.
I named my kid Noah just in case it starts raining. He's 6 years old. Yesterday we were talking and he was like playing a game or watching a YouTube video or something on his Switch, and he said, "God gracious" or something like that, and or God's graciousness or something, and I said, "Where the hell did you hear that at? Like, what are you talking about? God's graciousness. Do you know what graciousness means?" Nope. I was like, okay. So already the public.
I can hear you, but I shall return. Y'all entertain yourself.
Well, I'm taking
shut
off.
The fuck up and let me talk.
As fun as this is, it's Mother's Day. I have a mother to hang out with.
Fair enough. Do you know what? I completely forgot about that because it's different over here.
I told her Happy Mother's Day before I left this morning, so good luck. Oh, I got him on the way out. Yeah, but the little Christian kids at my kid's school are already exposing him to the language and weird things that they say. I'm waiting for it any day to have the questions about God and stuff, because he already says ghosts and supernatural things aren't real. So we'll see where it goes. I haven't told him anything. I just let it go. But I imagine here soon he's going to be confronted with the extreme Christianity that is rural Kentucky. I can see you. Hi.
She pops into visibility from time to time.
I'm actually visible. Oh, no, never mind. I've gone.
No, she disappeared, and now all I see is Jesus Attenborough.
Really killed her about 10 years ago, and she is but a ghost.
Yeah. And my girlfriend won't make videos with me.
Mischief back on in a moment.
Every now and then the audience hears my girlfriend come in and say something to me, but she won't make videos with me. I've tried to get her. We were going to do a thing together where we talk about stuff, but she wants to get all fixed up for it and stuff, and I don't have the patience for that. And plus, I would have to lie and say we were starting an hour earlier to get her to be on time. So
I was a bit iffy at first, wasn't I?
Yeah.
I did a couple of them parodies with you.
Yeah. Because you started off doing music videos and stuff, and then like aside from just being in the background and.
My channel is more of a podcast, Rochester. My videos are long and just a lot of talking, not much in the form of video. I call it the Grateful to Know God's Broadcast and put it all on a playlist. And it is a podcast on my channel, actually. I think we have 30 videos in it now.
See, I've thought about starting a podcast, but if I want to talk about other things that aren't God.
Well, you know what, Zach?
I want to talk about TV shows and fantasy stuff, and I want to talk about Discworld.
I ran in that too because I named my channel The Kentucky Atheist. So people have an expectation that I'm going to be shitting on God whenever they come watch. And you know what? Like, I said, fuck it, and I do what I want. Like, who cares? Talk about whatever you want. Like, if you separate that stuff and make playlists for it and like make it clear that this is a separate thing that you're doing, like, I think the algorithm will still be good to you for it.
Don't know. Algorithm doesn't like me at the minute, so.
Well, it doesn't like me either. My channel goes through growth spurts. Like, I'll gain 300, 400, 500 subscribers in a month, and then have a month where I come out like up 2 or down 1 or something. So, we're getting ready to hit 1,400 though, so I'm excited about that. Yeah.
So I was stuck at like 330 for fucking ages, and I finally broke that. Now it's all coming in drips and drabs. So hit the like button, subscribe, do the YouTube things, please. Get other people to do it. Share it to everyone. Tell everyone. Tell the world. Shout it from the rooftops, the streets, out the windows, from buses, trains, everywhere. I don't care.
So you and I should do a weekly stream or even bi-weekly stream where we let the audience through my social media pick some clips or shorts or something, and you and I watch it and have fun making fun of it.
I'm all down for that.
Yeah. We should do that. You and I have a lot of fun talking about stuff, and you're funny, and I try to be funny sometimes, but
yeah, but you worry about it too much. Just fucking, it's all right. You're a funny dude. You just.
I'm funny when I get going, like, but you know.
See, but that's the thing. That's the thing with everybody. It's fucking the starting anything's the fucking worst. But then you get into a groove, and then just things happen naturally. You know, it's like fucking, I don't know.
Well, I do a lot of like self-deprecation comedy stuff, like, you know, like I'm shitting on myself being from Kentucky and all those things, and like, yeah, I need to go meet me a wife at a family reunion or something, you know, like the you know, I can do some funny stuff, whatever. But like anyway, I think that the interaction of watching stuff like that would be fun, and we can have like I've got enough followers on my various social media sites to get people to recommend some videos. I think.
Yeah,
I think they will anyway. Maybe not.
Plus, there's anything we might find anyway, because there's always.
I can give it to my members. They for sure will.
I do have some people from the past. I wouldn't mind like pulling up some stuff. If I could find some of these videos, it'd be amazing. I'd love to introduce people to what's her fucking name? Oh Jesus, the half Japanese woman. Crazy. Church of Gale. Church of Gale. Church of Gale is the most insane thing. So there's this fucking this like she's a crazy woman that's obsessed with Brent Spiner, and she's been obsessed with the Brent Spiner since the 90s. But she's made a church thing out of it, where like she's sent by Jesus, who mind melds with her, with Vladimir Putin, Keanu Reeves, because she can't say names correctly, and like all these things, and they brain meld with her, and she's up there being chased by Jesuit clones. It's insane.
Oh wow!
No,
yeah.
All the
wow, that is.
They're up there with her.
Well.
Yeah. Well, no, she's not allowed on the ship.
Yeah.
Because the Jesuits have put in a thing.
Yeah, the ones that
we could start out bringing videos ourselves and go ahead and put that out there. So by the time we get to do the audience suggestions, we've built up a little bit of a backlog, you know.
Plus, there's just weird people that we could talk about. It doesn't have to just be atheism stuff.
Oh, sure. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't have to be Christian stuff. Just whatever you want to like make fun of. Also, would you be interested in being on a stream with me while I prank call a couple people?
Yeah.
Or you want to stay away from that?
No. It depends who it is. I don't know. I don't give a shit. To be honest, I mean,
what if we call Paula White at the White House?
Well, no, we're 2 hours in, so I've been playing it off as thingy. But this stuff, right? It's like this. I'm going to be on Mr. Beverly at some point, being fucking. I'm going to be Braxton Hunter for a bit, so whatever.
Yeah. I wanna call places like Dinosaur Adventureland and the Ark Encounter and Paula White and maybe the Vatican.
I'd love to talk to the Vatican about the Crimen Solicitatis document.
Yeah.
But no, we'd have to set that up properly. But I wouldn't mind that. I can play characters.
Yeah, we can have some fun. And
I have lots of voices in my repertoire.
Well, if we could get someone to animate it all for us, it'd be great. But
should have brought this up when he was here.
I could always just run it through an AI thing and take our actual video and animate it.
See, I still want to that thing I sent you ages ago. I still want to do that at some point because that'd be like that'll be really good.
Well, maybe we do like a variety show where we do a little bit of everything.
See,
we have segments.
I had a lot of ideas for us, but I was kind of leaving you be until the Ark Encounter's over.
Yeah,
because it's like
it's a lot of what I do. By the time I like answer emails and keep track of everything, keep everything up to date, like that's why I haven't been putting out as much content because I'm just like getting to the point to where it's like getting closer and I'm nervous and I get burnout on some of this stuff. The having debates with creationist stuff really took a piece of me that I'm not going to ever get back.
It does. I would imagine. I've talked to some pretty dumb ones and I've talked to like a couple clever ones, and it takes bits from you and they take different things.
Well, like it's really exhausting. Like, for example, debating Kent Hovind. Kent Hovind is easy as far as like his points are shit and all that, but it's actually very exhausting to sit through that and like think about what he's saying and try to make a conversation out of the nonsense that comes out of his mouth. And
I think that being pleasant would be the hardest for me.
Well, I pulled that off nicely, but like I said, that's the thing is like it's exhausting doing that with him because you have to like actively stop yourself from like just calling him an idiot, and it just, I don't know. And plus I feel like a bit of shame about like even fucking with Kent Hovind because I don't like Kent Hovind or the things he stands for or anything, but like at the same time, like I'm leveraging it for the Ark Encounter stuff. Like,
yeah, it's different because you're like, come on, fucking, you come down here, and then we can get Ken Hovind in the same place, and it'll all be crusty.
Yeah. Kent Hovind, somebody I wasn't interested in talking to Kent really, but when we had the phone call, like I was trying to talk to him about let me schedule this and organize this stuff so you can talk to who you want to without it being a disruptive mess. Yeah. And he tried to debate me the whole time I was talking to him. So I was like, look, Kent, we can talk about that stuff later. Let's talk about this. And so he's like, well, we've been open for 9 years today. Maybe you should come debate me about these things because evolution is your religion. And you know, like it's, so I was like, look, Kent, I'll come talk to you. Just let's get this worked out and figured out. And so, and plus I had already talked to Joseph, who I didn't know was his tech guy. And so Joseph was like, and Joseph was really nice and awesome to talk to. So he's like, hey, let me set you up to talk to Kent Friday or whatever. And I was like, okay, I guess, you know, and I in one hand, I wish I wouldn't have even done it. Cause I still like, I don't know. But yeah, it's done now. Yeah, we can do something tomorrow, Jester.
So.
Just like you said.
And he told us an amazing story from the Bible
on the importance of being thankful.
Oh, that's amazing, little ones.
And you'll never guess what happened afterwards.
Nothing.
What happened?
We went back to see Bailey to thank him for showing us the clover field.
And when we got there,
he showed us a whole new field of yummy, delicious alfalfa blossoms.
Damn. That was their reward.
That was the reward. See, I didn't catch that earlier.
A whole new field.
Yeah. Well, like, you know, they got a whole new field, and, you know, God did that, and not the dog.
How long do bees live?
You know what?
Better be a small field. About 2 weeks, I think, is the answer to that question.
Is it? I thought they lived longer.
I believe so. The worker bees, I believe, live about 2 weeks.
All right. Well, these two are fucked then.
Better get out there and finish that field.
Yeah, it's a fucking new one, and time's a ticking.
Yeah,
you got the seconds. The seconds beat harder for you, young bee.
These worker bees haven't done shit this whole video.
No, I see no pollen on their legs. Nothing.
So here's what they're telling their mother or queen or whatever she is. They're saying, we went and talked to Chompers, and he told us about a story in the Bible. And then we went and talked to the dog, and he showed us another field. And that's because we said thank you. But that's not true, because the dog showed you the first field without that. So why would you insist that that's the only reason that you've seen the second one? Because he doesn't say, I'm only showing you because you said thanks. The dog that normally shows you fields showed you another field. It's still an insignificant, like you're calling this a reward, but really it's the status quo.
True, but that's why it's fun that's why it's fun and easy sorry, that's how it's showing how fun and easy it is for these people to like mislead, you know, small children, because they have to think about this stuff when they're writing it, right?
Right. It is made for dumbass kids that believe this stuff.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is it's the thought behind it that's the really sinister shit. You know what I mean? Because you have to, when you're writing this shit, you have to think about exactly how you're going to get them to believe what you want them to think.
Sure. I know I'm being too hard on it. And I don't think the kids are dumbasses. I think they're indoctrinated by junk like this. But
yeah. This is the sort
That's
of
just
shit
the
that those
language I
kids would
use.
watch if they was in like fucking Jesus camp back in the day or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's wonderful, Sonny and Petal. I see that you've learned your lesson about the importance of being thankful, and you were rewarded for your kindness.
Yes, Queen Buttercup. Our tummy will be full of honey this winter.
But what's more important, our heart will be full of praise for God.
Damn, that's what's more important.
What can you say if you had not said thanks to the dog that your stomach would not be full of honey this winter?
No, because they did it. They found it's alfalfa. It wasn't just cloves. It wasn't just Cloverfield. It wasn't just aliens from the sky. Sorry, every time they say Cloverfield, that's all I think.
Can I just mention that these bees appear to be living in an area surrounded by flowers?
Yeah, but the thing that
is a field really a reward?
Hey, these bees have built buildings and a windmill.
Well, they do that.
And that's what matters.
That's where windmills come from. That's why they make that noise. And
the fashion.
Bees don't like birds, right?
Right.
So,
so
they built
knock
the
them out of the
windmills.
sky.
Yeah, they built the windmills to kill all the birds.
Most.
Another day is dawning, a new song on the...
With a heart full of
Damn, I'm surprised that song didn't get pulled up in my money trolling.
gratitude and love for God, little Sonny and Petal return to collecting sweet pollen for their hive.
Let's go.
You ready for adventure 2?
I don't know.
Petal?
Let's go, Sonny.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Petal, I can't think of anyone better to collect pollen with than you.
There's the incestuous relationship.
Little bee on bee action.
Yeah. You're my sister.
Now let's go out. You're my sister, and let's go out in the woods and let's do what other people do.
I want to show you this field out here, just down here beyond where people can see us.
I got a special flower to show you. It only blooms in a certain way.
Just on a side note, the second time that I was ever with a woman was behind a big round hay bale in a field.
Pertinent information. Was there? Did you get like? I don't know. I'm not. No. No.
Probably be better than doing what you
Okay.
You know, I suppose no.
were born to do, with your best friend in the whole world by your side.
Nothing. It's the bee's knees.
How the fuck do they know about knees?
Them motherfuckers ain't got knees.
They've heard about the fictional knee, and they're like, "Damn, I wish I had them instead of these nubs."
Yeah,
that fly around all
it
the
is
time.
like the. It is like the bee's knees, and that all of this is fucking fictional.
maybe that fucking queen bee woman. Maybe she's really a fuck, right? And she chops off their legs at the knees.
Yeah,
and that's why with these knees, she hangs them up as a warning.
Damn.
And here is Queen Buttercup. She will be very proud indeed.
Sonny, Petal, I'm
They went
so
around
glad
in a
you two are
circle.
back.
We're glad to be
They went around. That was what?
back, Queen Buttercup.
Yeah, it's not easy flying around with all this pollen in our bellies.
Great
What?
job, bees. But I need to ask you to go back to the field.
What? We got pollen in our bellies.
Yeah, that's where they store the pollen, don't you know?
Damn. I didn't realize that bees stored pollen in the bellies.
Yeah, fucking look at them.
That's why they got them fucked up teeth. They've been trying to eat pollen.
Yeah.
Little did they know they were just supposed to stick it to the legs and body.
Why does that one have red eyes? The others have blue eyes. Buttercup or whatever the fuck
Go
her name
back
is has red eyes.
out.
Because she's a woman and therefore the devil. I think that's the best answer we have.
The queen doesn't have red eyes.
Yeah, but she's the queen bee. That's different. That's leadership and authority, spouting the divine worshipness and holy light of the Lord. So she's fine. The other one is a demonic influence, taking our little Timmy bee here out into the fields and rolling around in the hay bales.
No. Maybe they need to do a bee exorcism.
They certainly do. I was trying to think of puns, but I had none.
Yeah. I was trying to at first too, and I couldn't do anything else with it than bee exorcism.
But why? We collected so much pollen today.
Right. If I eat any more, I'm afraid I might burst my stripes.
And then
Question,
she'll be
question,
polka dotted.
That doesn't make sense either. But they said that the reason that the field was good and a reward was because that they could get the pollen and their stomachs would be full of honey during the winter.
Yeah.
Winter. I'm talking like Ken Hovind. But they ate it all now.
Because they
Maybe we should show them what happens to gluttons.
They eat all the pollen now and then regurgitate it all later, and that's how they get the honey.
Yeah.
And then they eat the honey in the winter.
I see.
See, what we don't
Does it
see
have to
is
be-
the hours of them flying back and going,
instead of
Lord.
regurgitating it, I'd like to pretend it passes completely through their digestive system.
Oh, that's why they get that's why it gives it its golden color. It's a little bit of wee.
Yeah.
It's a little bee wee.
Yeah.
And then you put it on
Bee
your
wee.
toast.
There you go.
Little bee wee, and then you put it on your toast. Little bee wee on your toast.
Yeah.
I think he's all right with this. I don't think I'd be all right with a bee weeing on my toast. I'd be like, hey, you fucking bee, what the fuck do you think you're doing?
Wow.
I suppose that's just the difference. Just, different strokes.
People here eat possums and shit, so, yeah.
Yeah. Man, people in Britain eat fried blood, so,
I've always wanted to try some blood sausage and black pudding, or whatever the fuck it's called.
And there's white pudding where they just eat, the plasma bits.
Oh, I bet that's tasty.
People over here eat weird shit.
I watch, every now and then I watch Eddie Hall do eating things.
Yeah.
And he's all about the black pudding.
Indeed, in the end of the day, they be puking for Jesus now.
Right. Nobody knew it, but bulimia is actually divine.
Taking it back to its Roman roots, I see.
Yeah.
It's not that, my lovely little bees. It's our old friend Muffin.
Is everything okay?
I hope so. Muffin
See,
got
Joe,
himself.
you jumped the gun. Somebody's got a problem, and they're the bees to the rescue.
Well,
You wouldn't be.
hopefully it doesn't require knees.
Hopefully not.
Stuck in a mud pit and can't get out.
Oh no! Muffin's huge. He could sink like a stone in deep mud.
Damn, Muffin is stuck in a mud pit. Let's stand around and talk about it instead of quick. Let's fucking go. They're stuck in a mud pit. I've seen that end scene of Homeward Bound with that poor German Shepherd is stuck in the mud pit and it can't get out. Quickly, run!
Yeah.
And he can't swim.
Like at all.
This is terrible news.
What can we do to help, Queen? We're just two little bees.
Firstly, it's so kind of you to ask and offer your help, Petal. Any
What's-
creature would
what's
be
the
lucky to count
movie-
either of you as their friend.
What's the moving with Sebastian and Falcor and
Never Ending Story.
Yeah, the Never Ending Story. Maybe it's like that with the horse.
Go on. Sorry, what?
Where the warrior kid loses his horse in the mud.
Yeah, ATAX.
Yeah.
That's your stupid fucking horse.
I think it's Artax.
Yeah, Artax.
Right. Yeah,
Artax
that's an
is
awesome
too
movie,
high.
by the way.
Rabble. Sorry, go on.
The animation is way better than this one. And it was made in 1941.
The animation of the orcs and the original Basque version of Lord of the Rings is better than this shit.
Oh, well, you're talking, that's modern.
Annie is on the scene making sure Muffin keeps a foothold and doesn't sink.
Sunny and Petal realize their friend is in trouble, and they
Let's
have to
split
help
around.
Muffin any way they can.
We won't let Muffin down,
Stood, hovered,
Queen.
Absolutely not. We'll go find Manny
Thoughts
right
and
away
prayers.
and make trouble.
Well, I mean, this is literally what they're doing right now. I guess we should help.
Let's send our thoughts and prayers.
Man.
Now get back to work, bitches.
Oh, there we go.
Well, sure, Muffin doesn't drown.
Sunny, Petal, you know the importance of friendship, don't you?
Split up, Dave.
We know we care about our friends.
Why is friendship so important, Queen?
Friendship is the glue that holds our world together, Petal. And just as importantly, it's a gift from God.
We'll do everything in our power to help our friend in need, Queen Buttercup.
See? Without God, you can't have friendship. Because, forget my pony is magic and ponies is friendship. God is friendship.
Are they going to go give this animal its last rites? Is that what's going on?
No, they're taking their thoughts and prayers because the bee's trying to help an animal out of a mud pit. They're gonna float down. And go, do you know what? Should we do mass?
Wouldn't it be cool if they just showed up and watched the thing in the mud pit and was like, Jesus, we ask that you let it be your will, whatever happens here. But if you decide to take poor Artax from us today, that we understand your reasoning and that it's your will and blah blah blah.
Yeah, well, because he the thing is only drowning in the mud because it turned away from the light of the Lord, so it fell into the mud.
Oh,
you see, it's like those damn dinosaurs. They're not. There was no evolution in the dinosaurs. They were just really hungry, so they dug down into the mud like this thing did. For them was looking for food, and it didn't bring a lot.
Yeah, maybe he was just trying to make a fossil.
Damn. Do you know what? That's what I'm going to be in life. I'm going to be a fossil.
Yeah. I was gonna donate my body to science when I die, but instead I think I'm going for the mud.
Yeah. I'm going to go to La Brea in California. I'm going to throw myself in, and then people will find me in future generations.
La Brea, though, are those actually fossils? I don't think they are.
All right, I'll go pea-bog myself. Well, I know they're not fossils, but they're more fascinating.
No, I agree. I think that there's...
Did you ever hear about the guy?
Some of the specimens.
Did you ever hear about the guy who got caught murdering his wife because they found a pea-bog body?
No.
So I think it was in the Netherlands or like Denmark or some shit. They found a pea-bog body and they announced it. But they announced it weird, and this guy just turned himself in and said, "Yeah, I murdered her," and he thought it was his wife. They thought he found his wife. And he's like, "No, this is just like some guy that that was it," because they didn't it was one of the first ones, and they didn't realize that it would preserve it so well. So they thought it was an actual murder because it was preserved so well. And some guy went, "Yeah, I murdered my wife. It was me." And they went, "Dude, it was a dude." And they're like,
that kind of. That reminds me of a story from MI6. Well, what became MI6 during World War II.
Yeah.
Whenever they threw the dead soldier's body off overboard wearing a different uniform and put papers and stuff in his pockets.
Yeah.
So that the Germans thought that he was carrying, sensitive information. But the part about it pretending to be somebody else was the important part.
Yeah.
We'll go find Muffin and Manny right away.
Fly high, little ones. There's not a moment to spare.
Sunny and Petal fly to find Manny.
There's not a moment to spare, so we send bumblebees. We can't fly in a straight line.
We sat and talked about it for 5 minutes first too.
You thought you'd think they'd take time to discuss strategy, but that is not the case.
There's not a moment to spare other than the moments we just spared.
Yeah, no talk of leverage, a rope, a stick, or anything. Just, God's grace will make it work.
Help their friend Muffin and learn why friendship is so important.
Wow.
Manny! We heard about Muffin. Is he okay?
Hey, Sonny, Petal, Muffin's free from the
mud,
no. And he's okay. I just came from getting him some water. For all this working his way free made him thirsty.
Well, he's
the only thing worse than my redneck accent, is people pretending to have it poorly.
Not do me.
Yeah.
A southern boy like myself would certainly understand.
Well, I mean, when you're talking and joking around, it's fine. But why create a character in a movie when your accent, when it sounds that bad?
Yeah. Well, because, you've got to fit the stereotypes and you've got to make the stereotypes young, right?
Yeah.
And the more broader you make them. Man, this is nothing. Go on.
Manny went to see Jesus.
I saw Jesus.
Oh, better yet, Manny didn't make it out of the mud. He went to be with Jesus.
Manny went mudding and we couldn't get him out.
Yeah.
Oh.
We try to stick. It didn't work. Mm-hmm.
It was too advanced. We didn't know how to break it off tree.
Oh, Manny had 1 too many Buzzwalkers this morning.
Right.
I named the beer Buzzweiser just to.
I need a few Buzzweisers when I get in. Manny nearly fucking died in the mud. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I'm just gonna sit.
Oh, Manny was down yonder, tinkering around down there in the mud, and got stuck. And
somebody told him that China was on the other side. And he went digging. He said, I'm going to go get some fucking chow mein. I'll be right back.
We told him the bottom of that there mud hole smelled like strawberries.
Fucking motherfucker dived in head first. We told him it was strawberries and chocolate, but
Oh, good to hear he's okay. We came as fast as we could.
We came as fast as we could. We came like lightning, like the Flash.
What does that help?
Well, 3 bees are stronger than 2 because the Trinity, you have strength, intelligence, and what's the other? Bravery. That's them, right? The Triforce come together. It's the Triforce of bees.
The Triforce of bees.
Fast as our wings would carry us.
Wow! You two bees sure are good friends to a big old guy like Muffin.
And so are you, Manny. You got here before anyone.
Well, I guess you're right about that, huh?
Bees.
That bee needs jowls for that. Oh, that's bloody.
I wasn't ready for that.
Well, nobody's ready for jowls.
Yeah.
Friendship is so important to our lives, yet it's one of the easiest things to overlook when things get busy.
Queen Buttercup was saying the same thing earlier.
We're lucky to have her, too. Queen Buttercup's one smart bee. But you know, some of the best lessons we can learn on friendship are found in the Bible.
Get out. Can you tell us any?
Sure.
Damn,
Ooh, I got one.
Okay. Go on.
Yeah, you know your neighbors, the Amalekites, right? Why don't you guys welcome them to town, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's why he's in the mud. The Amalekites, you know, they came in, they just pushed him in, they said, "This is my pollen." And they ate the pollen, and then they fucked off.
Yeah.
Man, what's wrong with it? Why is this why is this why are these bees' eyes yellow?
Some of them are red. Some of them are blue.
I think there's suspicious things going on. I think the eye color is supposed to signify something. I think it's.
I do too. I think it has. Yeah.
Like, I mean, look at those eyes. Those eyes are like the, you know. Though I don't know. Those are the eyes that someone sees before they die. They like wake you up first. Oh, he's gone.
I think we are going to have a crucifixion in this one.
He's going to build the cross. He is but the lowly tactone.
Since they can't get Manny out of the mud, he's going to crucify himself to save Manny from the rules that he made.
Yeah, that sounds 100% plausible.
Yeah, that's how you do it, right? Historically,
yeah.
that's
you know, because you become the savior and the lamb. And
yeah, if we're talking
wait, does that mean that we're going to see a bee turn into a lamb?
Yeah, evolution is true. Yeah.
Jesus turned into a lamb. That's evolution.
Yeah.
Take that.
Well, Jesus was a lamb from the beginning because he only had half the chromosomes.
Well, very true, but they were perfect chromosomes. So
I think lambs actually have more chromosomes than human stuff. So
well, it's Jesus. He has one chromosome, and it's God. That's why.
Well, no.
Oh God! I figured it out. God is real. Yahweh is real. The chromosome's in the shape of a Y. Sometimes it's Yahweh.
So
the other one's
Ron
X.
Wyatt.
But whatever.
Ron Wyatt found Jesus's hole, and blood ran down Jesus's hole, and went on to the Ark of the Covenant underneath it, and he gathered that blood and they tested it, and he only had one set of chromosomes from his father, but not from his mother, or from his mother, not from his father.
I don't know how you can deny undisputable proof like that.
Well, he got on stage and stood in front of people and said it, and he said they had scientists do it. So, unless you're going to say he's lying.
Well, no, people don't lie about God ever.
No, because he also found the Noah's Ark and, like I said, the Ark of the Covenant and part of Jesus' cross. And what else did he find? He found the sulfur bowls and
I think
he was the most accomplished nurse anesthesiologist, archaeologist, Indiana Jones character ever.
There was a guy. The guy I was making fun of. You reminded me. The guy I was making fun of about the Exodus a couple weeks ago. His
chariot wheels.
he has pictures like that, doesn't he? Where he's trying to be like, I'm Bible fucking Indiana Jones, and he stood next to his motorcycle with his fedora on, going,
Yeah.
I'm Indy Jones. Look at me on
Oh,
my
they love that.
Yeah.
That was the thing. The chariot wheels and I forget the word for the sand that turned to glass, or I'd use the proper word, but
oh yeah, for Gomorrah and shit.
Yeah. Well, no, at the crossing of the Red Sea.
Oh right.
He found all that. I actually had an apologist come talk to me and argue with me about finding chariot wheels and such recently.
I think my favorite one is when they go, "Hey, by the way, did you know that because we don't know where the tomb is, right? That means that the early Christians didn't care what Jesus's tomb was because Jesus was resurrected. So why would they care what the tomb was? And the fact that we don't know where the tomb is 100% proof that Jesus resurrected from the dead."
No, Ron Wyatt found that.
Well,
he did, because that's where the cross was.
Well, they could have lost it. He could have found it. That's all I'm saying.
He found Jesus's hole plug, and he did. He did, and right behind where Jesus's hole is, there's the rocks look like a skull or something, and there's a place back in there. So that was also the tomb.
Yeah.
Ron Wyatt found everything that you can find.
I'll have to see I'll have to look him up. I've not heard of him.
I've got
heard
a
of
couple
that Jesus
videos on my
thing
channel.
before, though. Sorry, go on.
I've got a couple videos about him on my channel that I did.
I'll have a look. Stuff like that sounds fun.
Me and Dave did one together that was just about Ron Wyatt, and then I did one on my own that covered Ron Wyatt and the Shroud of Turin. Yeah, Thomas. Yes, that's the whole reason Jesus came back.
Yeah,
was so that Thomas could finger his hole in front of everybody at dinner.
He longed for that sweet, sweet touch one more time.
Well,
no.
He fingered Jesus's hole at the Passover dinner that they had already had the day before. In front, I mean, miracle.
Well, it really gets right where it's pure. You know what I mean?
Because they crucified Jesus both before and after the meal. They crucified him.
Touch the wound of
so I think the apologetic here is that they crucified him before the Passover meal.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, we were supposed to have Passover meal. And so they took him down and let him eat and let Thomas finger his holes. And then they put him back up there and finished the job. So he didn't really resurrect. Just they didn't want him to miss Passover.
Well, that would explain why he died at 2 different times.
Yeah,
I think you found the answer.
That's it. That's historically speaking, it's supported by almost everything.
Well, it's. I mean, like I agree with Ember.
Alternative facts.
If Jesus came before me and he said, "Zachary, my child, come finger my hole." Joe, I feel the bodily resurrection. Do you know what? I'd get in there.
The question is, did he have Peter smell his finger afterward?
Maybe. I don't know. He definitely didn't wash it, though. He definitely didn't wash it. He left that baby around for a while. He just said, every once in a while he'd just take it out of his pocket and he'd just go.
Yeah. He said, Peter, the Lord Jesus, has played stinky fingers with me during the Passover. Yeah.
Well,
Good golly, what did I walk in on?
Well, we was just talking about fingering Jesus' hole. So Dave, as an atheist, if Jesus came before you and said, "Dave, my son, finger my hole," would you give it a little wiggle?
I would.
Yeah, you got.
Now does he look like Johnny Depp or something, or?
Well, no, it's Jesus.
I mean, if he's good looking enough, maybe I might give it a try.
Okay, what if it's not true Lord and Savior Sir David Attenborough? What if it's one to David Attenborough's hole? Would you finger his hole?
I love David, but he's not my type.
What are holes for if not fingers?
That's true.
Well, hey, it's like they say in Denmark, fingers are for plugging things. You know what I mean? If that child plugged the dam and plugged the dike, and it's,
in Kentucky we say finger in your butt. Mm-hmm.
Well, this whole stream has taken a multitude of directions.
I heard Ron Wyatt. I thought it was going off the rails. So
then you got here, and the first words were stinky fingers.
Finger in the butt.
You invited me here, Zach. So
I did. Hey, but these bees are inspiring us, and they're inspiring us to learn things about the world and things about ourselves, and to grow together.
Dude, I'm so jealous.
Like and subscribe.
The only time I see your girlfriend, she's back there burning one. Yeah. The only time I see your girlfriend on camera, she's back there burning one. Or is she your wife? I forget.
No, we're not married. No, I don't do the marriage.
Okay. I'm out of weed, so it's
I still call her the missus though, because it's fun to say.
The miss. Oh yeah. I call Laura the missus, or my old lady, since I'm from Kentucky.
We used to say the wife back when we were dating in high school. It was just, that's what we called our girlfriends, was the wife. So.
I gotta ask my old lady. That's what I said.
Yeah, old lady. We use old lady a lot, and people have given me dirty looks though when I say my old lady, and it's like, what?
To be honest, that's where Bexington Smythe came from, wasn't it?
Yeah.
People look at me funny too. I just pretend it's because I'm morbidly obese.
I've got a female dog, so I call it a bitch.
Finger in your butt?
People get weird. I can't believe you'd say that to your dog. And it's like, but she's a bitch. I've heard future ex-wife.
What's up, Michael? Long time no see.
Right, we've got bees to get through. Oh, hi. Okay, he's right there.
What's up, Michael?
Look at that bee. That bee's distressed.
Thing, Jesus.
Rip off of the Minions.
Yeah, basically. So I think either way you've proved their point, though.
Yeah.
I don't say old lady. I say my old lady.
Yeah.
I don't call them old lady until
You're going to use the soft D.
I don't call them old lady until they gave me the cookie anyway. So,
although technically she is, my wife is older than me. She's a month older than me. So.
Wow.
Couldn't get much closer than that if we tried, right?
No.
I've been watching these videos on how to become an alpha male, and
oh, bro,
yeah, because that's what you need. That's what you gotta watch videos.
Let's bro size, and then I can teach
you.
Dude,
I'm telling you, being a beta makes you more money. I had somebody show up giving me super chats the other night, calling me a beta.
Yeah, that was top shit.
Yeah, and I was like, okay.
Baby beta, here's some money.
I'll be beta all night. Send me some more super chats.
Just remember, you're paying me.
That's right. You dropping super chats, you can call me beta all you want. Knock yourself out.
you can do it because you feel sorry for me if you want. That's fine.
I ended up with $25.
Freddy Got Fingered is one of the funniest movies ever.
It is
at moments.
It's so fucking underrated, that movie.
Yeah.
How you doing, Jester?
Tom Green was a weird hero to me when I was a child. No wonder I'm weird.
Tom Green, like, I think Canada has some of the funniest people.
Yeah.
It's you know, even if they didn't come from Canada, they worked there. You know, like for a period of time. But Canada has some hilarious folks up there. So, my favorite TV shows, like the Trailer Park Boys, is probably one of my favorite things ever.
I fucking love Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, Kenny versus Spinny.
Yeah.
Chris Farley.
Letterkenny is fucking amazing as well.
Letterkenny, yeah. Pretty much anybody from old Second City stuff.
Kids all back in the day.
Nickelodeon was pretty much founded from a TV show called "You Can't Do That on Television."
Yeah,
which was like the. I mean, if you're old enough to remember that, but I mean, all that stuff came from Canada. Such talented folks.
It's only the Americans that are bad at comedy.
There's no old people here.
I just don't know how they got so funny playing hockey all the time.
Curling.
I'm joking. I can't make jokes about Canada. People get upset.
Was Whitest Kid You Know Canadian?
Yeah. People come and bitch at me for saying things about Canada.
Well, South Park told me as a child, blame Canada.
Blame Canada. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Not even a real country anyway.
Terrence and Phillip is believed to be based on Kenny versus Spinny.
No, it's not.
Yeah. I mean, people have said that. Because Matt Stone and Trey Parker were friends with Kenny Hotz before Kenny started writing for South Park. And
yeah, but all that Kenny versus Spinny stuff came out after Terrence and Phillip. Even them shit didn't go around. Because they were making films before that.
I don't know that it did, because they were on Canadian broadcast way before they did the Showcase show.
Doing that same stuff?
Kenny.
Oh, sorry.
Kenny
I thought no. Sorry, I thought you were saying more on the actual show than them two.
Right. I should have said it's based on Kenny and Spinny from Kenny versus Spinny. Kenny and Spinny were friends with Matt and Trey before they ever did the what's it called, the pitch and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. People have said it. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying that people said that.
Do you know what? You ever find any of the secret aliens in South Park?
Yeah.
I know where that comes from, you know. You ever watched Hannibal the Musical?
No.
Oh, you've never watched Hannibal the Musical? They made it's the first thing they ever made. They made it as like so they went to film school, right? And they made it in film school, but the film school wouldn't accept it. So they released it. And it's based on a true story of some like fucking people that were trying to like go out and find like gold in the West or whatever, and they got trapped and cannibalized each other in the winter. And only one person came back. And they made a really...
Is this like the Donner Party? Is that what we're talking about?
I think so, yeah. It's really, really funny.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's like, you know, at the end of all the shows when they have the production company things and it goes da 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 da. That's actually a song from Cannibal. It's the Spigonkel song.
I didn't know. No.
Oh, I got super obsessed with Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
Yeah. You watch Orgasmo?
Oh, I fucking love Orgasmo. I don't want to sound like a queer or nothing, but your ass looks really hot in that. I don't want to sound like a queer or nothing, but I'd really like to have sex with you sometime.
Yeah. The way he says it is so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to sound like a queer or nothing.
Yeah. My favorite film of those, they didn't even write though. It's annoying. I love Basketball. Basketball's fucking amazing.
Yeah, Basketball's good for different reasons. Basketball and like what was the other one? Beer League or what's it called? The one where they drink beer out of the boot?
Beer Fest.
Beer Fest, yeah. those are like they're great because you see that like South Park type humor in them.
Yeah,
but they're not directly related, really.
I
The
figured
type
out.
of humor though is you either like it or you hate it.
See, I figured out. That's why I like Bob's Burgers. Bob's Burgers is like family friendly South Park, but like really early South Park. You know, like the first couple
Yeah.
seasons where it's just the most mundane shit half the time. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I think people think that cartoons like started out wholesome and got worse, but that's really not true. You know, the first cartoons were very racist and very
Oh, yeah.
xenophobic and all that, and then you get into like Ren and Stimpy, which was full of innuendo, and Rocco's Modern Life was all about a cow trying to fuck a dog, and like
Did you ever see that they did a movie a few years ago of Rocco's Modern Life? It was
how did they? I didn't see that.
It was really good.
Rocco's Modern Life.
Yeah.
Rocco's Modern Life.
Rocco's Modern Life was the fucking shit. Old Nicktoon stuff was the best.
I like
Rocco's Modern Life
I like
was great.
Courage. I like Courage, the cowardly dog. Too.
Courage the
Yeah.
Cowardly Dog. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of my favorites.
What? do you know-
Then I discovered like Robot Chicken, and
Yeah.
that was a different network though.
Because like I grew up with like because when I was a kid it was Nickelodeon was just starting, so like Ren and Stimpy was just coming out, Rugrats was just coming out, fucking Our Real Monsters. Well, fucking one of them is basically basically fucking Tim Curry from fucking
How old are you?
Rocky Horror. 38.
So I'll be 43 in a couple months. When
Yeah.
I was a kid, Nickelodeon had actually just started.
Yeah.
And it was the show Pinwheel, which was on for hours sometimes. And you can't do that on television.
Yeah.
And eventually, like some like there wasn't really cartoons though. It was like
Yeah, it was like Hey
kind of like well, Hey Dude was much later. It
Wasn't that
was
much
like
later?
PBS. Yeah, Hey Dude.
Hey Dude was the first Nickelodeon produced show.
Hey Dude came out when I was like older though.
Yeah, but it was the first Nickelodeon Studios show that they didn't nick from somewhere
Maybe.
else.
Oh, yeah, maybe so. Yeah, that it wasn't just something that they bought and put on their channel, right?
No, because they started with
No.
that, and then there was like Double Dare and fucking Temple
Well,
Run.
Double Dare is really early. Because that's Double Dare spawned from You Can't Do That on Television.
Yeah.
And the slime was the basis for it. Because You Can't Do That on Television invented the slime when you say I don't know and getting water poured on you when you said water.
Yeah.
Or any form of the word water.
How about ping pong balls?
Pete and Pete was
Oh, Pete
early.
and Pete is the shit.
Yeah.
But, like was it fucking what's it called? Oh my god. Malcolm in the Middle is just the biggest rip off of that show.
Oh, Nancy and Patty were giving me flashbacks the other night. Patty does the romper room thing when she says hi to people in the chat.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's a flashback.
What is Romper, Stomper?
Romper, bumper, stomper, boo. Something like that. Yeah. I always
There's
listened to it, and I
somebody
never
new, and I'm going to tell you who.
I never heard her say David. I watched all the time, and I was always disappointed.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, I have a popular name. You're not saying David? Gee whiz.
Did you ever see it when Adult Swim made an adult fucking version of Ren and Stimpy with the original creator?
Yeah. That was some of what people point to are the best episodes. Some of it came from that later stuff, and it was good.
Yeah, then,
I mean, it was straight dirty though.
Oh yeah,
Like,
was it Stimpy thinking that them being a gay couple, and then was it Stimpy thinking that he's pregnant because he's like constipated, and then they have a poo baby while living in a spittoon in a bar because they think a spittoon is fancy.
Yeah. The clip people talk about a lot is the one where the old man takes Ren as his dog, and he's supposed to be a pet, and he constantly beats the shit out of him and stuff. And then at the end they take like sticks and brutalize him really, really bad, like it's a bloody mess. And that was children's television. So it there wasn't really, things were like that until Columbine happened. And that's when things started to change a lot. I think anyway.
Well, there was that. 9/11 was around the corner. There was a lot of things that happened in a short span of time.
Yeah, so they had blamed a lot of the stuff that happened on Marilyn Manson and video games and cartoons and stuff like that. And so right around the same time, it's a little before that, you get the NSRB, and then you start getting these ratings on TV shows the same way. And once they started doing that, and they said, well, this is a children's program, it can only have like things up to the teen rating. Yeah. And so they had to change a lot of stuff.
Well, it was like when Invader Zim came out. I was surprised some of the stuff that with.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, the thing was you couldn't directly do things, but innuendo was fine. That's why Ren and Stimpy got by with it for so long. Yeah. Rocco's Martin Life was constantly innuendo. Hell, even Rugrats was full of it.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I noticed, you don't notice when you're younger, but when you're watching stuff with your kids, you notice that's an adult joke. I mean? There's no way my kid's going to get that. That was for us, right?
Yeah. That's why they did it. Because they know parents were watching shows with their kids sometimes. So they were like, hey, we want parents to turn this on for their kids. So we insert a little bit of adult humor, even if it's just a couple jokes. And that'll be better than, watching Sesame Street.
Well, it's like, but some of the stuff that people got away with in the 90s was insane. Did you ever, Joe, were you too old for Animorphs? Did you ever read Animorphs?
I remember that.
Did you ever read it?
I didn't read it. But,
man, Animorphs is fucked up. Like, seriously fucked up. It's just like, oh, it's this nice little thing where, like, oh, some teenagers can turn into animals to fight off, aliens, and it's all young adults, and then they start, like, halfway through, it just goes, do you know what? Fuck it. This is a war. And they start torturing people and committing war crimes and having to deal with it being 15. It's fucking mental.
Yeah.
Animal
that sounds right.
Hard. It starts off light and nice, and then it gets rough. Really rough.
Yeah.
The 90s was different, though. People just didn't give a shit as much, really, about anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're at the 3-hour mark. I'm going to have to get ready to get out of here and put my kid to bed.
Yeah, no worries.
But I had fun watching the bees worship Jesus.
Do you want to watch some bees with us, Dave?
Yeah, I'll hang out with you for a few.
Yeah.
Well,
drop us a line.
Thanks for having me on. And hey, we'll get together and talk about putting together something where we do a little bit of like variety comedy or whatever. And
it'll be good.
Maybe we can figure something out. You and I have been wanted to do something for a while like that. So like,
Plus, watching stupid shit like this gives you ideas. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And Dave, you're always welcome. And
hey, you too.
Yes,
Joe.
Thanks for the conversation about the problem of evil.
And hey, while I got you too, do you have a new ad? I sent you a message yesterday when I was doing the description. Have you got a new ad for the ARC protest thing?
The newest one I put up about a week or two ago. I'll send it to you.
All right, yeah, send it. I played the other one, but
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I got one that doesn't have Ostrano in it and has Jay Bundy in it instead. So
I told folks it's subject to change and all, but
our wonderful Predator in Chief has unfortunately made it to where Canadians don't want to come take part in it. So
right. Well, even Mark Reed said that he would like to come to one of the big things, but he said, first of all, the cost is prohibitive. I mean, he's got to come from around the world,
Oh yeah, it's like $1,000 to get a ticket from there.
Right. And he said, even if he could, even if they said, well, we could get something together and fund it. And he said, even so, he goes, even if it was, he goes, I don't think I'd want to come to your country right now.
Yeah. No, I don't blame anybody for that. Like, I'm not the least bit upset with Vostrano for not being able to make it. I understand. Like, I hate that it's that way, but
well, just a hassle at the border or anything just ain't worth it. I mean, I understand. Yeah, I wouldn't want to deal with it.
Well, they've been detaining people for like weeks sometimes.
Right. Right.
And also like the Canada has been very open about boycotting many American things and coming, even if you came to the protest to protest something, you're still like going to put money into American tourism. And so I understand why they wouldn't want to do that. And I don't in any way have a problem with it. In fact, if I was in his shoes, I might feel the same way. So I get it.
I can't blame him at all. Nope.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll do some stuff here soon and come hang out. I'll be doing a lot more open panel stuff. So you guys come hang out with me.
Yeah.
And everybody in the audience, thanks for putting up with my bullshit today. And who was the other person that was here?
Andy.
He left.
Yeah.
Andy.
It's just
nice to meet you, Andy.
Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe, Andy. All right. Thanks for having me on.
It's been fun.
All right, Joe. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Peace.
And then there were two. There's two, and now. Oh no, sorry. There's three. I'm being very rude. Bexington Smythe. Yeah.
If I don't move, no one can see me.
It's because she's a ghost. She does the ghost things,
hopping in and out.
Yeah, she hides in the spirit realm, away from everyone. And she wants no one to notice. And she goes, "That's a fucking Bible piece. Fuck you."
What's her name again, Zach?
It's Bexington.
Bexy?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were saying Becky or what you were saying.
There's a bunch of them. I said they're all interchangeable.
Okay.
It's not solid what I say.
What?
My language doesn't work on solid ground. That's all I'm saying.
Well, hello to you too, Bexington.
Right. So we equal the bees. It's like the Lord of the Rings. It's the 9 walkers for the 9 riders, and we have the 3 of us against 3 bees. I think we'll do. I don't know how we'll do.
Petal listen intently as Manny recounts his favorite story of friendship from the Bible.
Jesus said to his disciples, "This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you."
I just want to remind everyone that right now, Manny is stuck in the mud. Manny's in the mud. He's in the mud. He's stuck, dying in the mud.
They even use the term so much as drowning
in mud. Drowning in mud.
An emergency.
An emergency. No time to waste. These were all lines that were uttered.
Yeah.
Need to talk about Jesus, because Jesus is more important. Jesus is more important. Remember, children, Jesus is more important than saving someone that's drowning.
Greater love has no one other than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends.
He said...
What do you mean, Manny? Manny's laying down his life right now.
Yeah.
I don't even know what Manny is. He hasn't appeared on screen yet.
Jesus only gave up a Saturday. So.
Yeah. True.
In the end, he gave up a Saturday.
And only the daytime as well. The night was his.
Yeah, it's not a true sacrifice if you know you're going to come back.
Very true. But Manny's sacrificing himself right now.
Poor Manny.
Well, yeah. He just got trapped in the mud, and they've left it to bees to save him. I suppose it's his own fault.
Choose your friends wisely.
Jesus you know what? Yes. Is so caring and full of love.
Yes, he loved his disciples very much. And even though they saw him as master, he treated them as beloved friends.
What else did Jesus say to them, Manny?
Jesus told his beloved disciples, "You are my friends if you do as I command you." Then he continued.
If.
No longer do I call you.
Yeah, you just gotta, just not be friends with your mother or your sister or whatever, as long as, they don't believe exactly what I tell you to. Otherwise, shunning will occur at the start.
There's a lot of ifs and buts.
There's a lot of ifs and buts, and Manny is desperately looking for someone.
Servants, for the servant does not know what his master is doing. But I have called you friends. For all that I've heard from my Father, I've made known to you.
So Jesus treated his disciples like friends and not like servants? How come?
Well,
because sometimes you might blow him occasionally, Don't, just be careful if you get your feet dirty. You don't want to go near that mud. Manny's there, he's desperate for people, and you don't want to get your feet dirty. Jesus might have to wash them, and it might be awkward with the bee.
That's what I was saying. Why would they be servants to somebody who's washing people's feet? The idea was to humble yourself, right? So.
Yeah. But,
Check the Bible, bees.
Roll credits. Ow! I need sunglasses. You put them on, the explosion happens in the background.
Because they simply learned to listen to him and to his teachings. They were able to quiet their heart and simply listen. In doing so, they learned from him the teaching he received from God his Father. In that way, they knew what he knew. And in his eyes, they were as his friends.
It would be a great gift to be taught God's teaching, just like the disciples were taught.
How can we become Jesus' friends, Manny?
You simply listen to Jesus' teachings, and you do as he commands you, which is to love one another as he loves you.
And if a friend of yours was stuck in the mud and was crying out for help, you would go and help him and not talk about parables of the Lord, and the Lord would look upon you as a savior and not someone who would let a friend drown in the mud.
And I notice only one of the voices is trying. You notice one of them is ending everything with bzz, bzz, like a bee. the other ones aren't hitting the buzz sound there.
Yeah, but when you're at the local church and you've got 4 people to get voices from.
Yeah. Give kudos to the one that given the extra effort. I'll give it to them. They were hitting the buzz sound in there. So.
Well, they were. I researched a little, and what I found is that he method acted to do to perform this role. He went around as a bee. He cut off his legs at the knee, gave him wings.
I appreciate that effort, really, truly.
Yeah. No, it shines through.
Give him a star on the tiny Walk of Fame.
Bam. See? Do you know what? It's not all hate towards Bible bees here at the Shaken Fist. There is love.
I like bees. I don't want to be one that would be preaching at me or anything, but we like the bees here. My wife and I both have flowers, and we love the bees.
Well, I love bees, but these are not bees.
I know these are those things you swat at and say, "Get out of my yard."
You go, what is this genetic freak doing? Why has he got?
Where's the bug spray? Oh, bad word.
Just as Jesus' capacity for friendship and love knows no boundaries, so it should be for you.
But how do we do that?
Just the way you did when you did.
Do you notice how when he was talking about Jesus, it had a normal voice, and then when he started talking normally, he went back to having a southern accent? When we talk about Jesus, for the Lord says there is only one way, it must be spoken with respect.
No, you got to hit the ahs. I need to work on that myself, Zach. We all need to work on it. So when we're talking, we got to talk about the video, and this video is getting to my nerves.
The problem is that reminds me too much of wrestling, so I started getting into wrestling talk. And then I'm going to take you down at the SummerSlams.
Well, if you can get it down, though, it seems to really work to get people's attention, and they open their wallets up, give you credit card numbers and probably their social security numbers and everything else, So I I think it's worth a shot. Maybe us atheists need to hit that inflection a little more, and be a little more commanding, and
Do you know what, Do you know what, Dave?
We have cookies. Come over here to be the atheists. And
Do you know what, Dave? I think you're right. And when we come together, I should tell you that the one Lord, Sir David Attenborough.
See?
Yeah,
gets people's attention, right? Feels you get fired up. You fire up the audience, and then you say, "Hit me with them credit card numbers."
I just have a nice little hat for you. Yeah, if you would be so Lord, if you would be so nice to give to the Lord. The dog is disturbed.
It reminds me of Sam Kinison. He was on like the the Late Show or something or whatever, and they said, "Do you ever get the feeling, because he used to be a pastor?"
Yeah,
and he goes, "Well, maybe it was Letterman or something, but anyway, he goes, yeah, I think he said Dave or something. He goes, I tell you, Dave, sometimes," and he gets up and he starts pacing back and forth. "Sometimes I get the feeling and the spirit comes upon me," and he goes into the little bit. It's one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah, I love Kinison. To be honest, I didn't watch a lot of Kinison, and then I did, and then it made me dislike. It made me dislike Bill Hicks a little bit because I went, "Oh, didn't you?"
Yeah. He was everywhere. He was hot, and then he was doing the
all the cocaine. It was too much for him. He was the original Too Many People, because there's a bit of Chris Farley in there as well, isn't
there? My drink went down the wrong pipe.
Oh shit, son! Fucking not only is Manny drowning, fucking Dave's drowning.
I know.
Fucking call for the Bigfoot, quick! It's the only one that will work.
It's one of those design flaws.
Yeah, motherfucker. The thing, this perfect intelligence. You got to breathe and eat through the same thing. We've got one flap that changes occasionally. Sometimes it works.
Man, it hurts too, doesn't it? Wow, made my eyes tear up. Yeah, one little drop, one little drop that you from a sip.
Yeah,
and that's when it happens too, is when you're trying to sip something, Or you take that little sip and you breathe that one little droplet in, and gee whiz, you feel like you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Man.
It's worse, you're eating and somebody makes you laugh really hard, so you take a sharp intake of breath, and then all of a sudden you've got half your dinner in your lungs. And you're like,
Whew. That stings. Anyway, excuse me.
Well,
I was saying Kinison was all big and hot and everything, and then that was MTV, and of course he's doing the Wild thing and everything on MTV, and we're just like, we're all loving Kinison. And then the tragic news hit, and that was one of the ones that hit a lot of us hard. It was like, no, not Sam, not Sam.
Well, it was like the Bill Hicks died, and Carrot Top won Comedian of the Year at fucking Montreal or some shit. It's like, lovely.
Oh, we lost Greg Giraldo too. I love Greg Giraldo, and I was sad to hear that he took too many drugs. And
didn't they all?
Mitch Hedberg too.
Yeah,
funny, and then he had to do, I guess he was like on hard drugs, and
yeah, but like, what we got? The only people that got to live to a decent age is what, Carlin, and like fucking Doug Stanhope is still going somehow.
Well, Pryor did all right. All he went through, and then he rebounded,
Yeah,
but then the MS hit him and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did rebound there. So for a while, it was good to have Richard Beck.
It's like COVID deprived us of Eddie Murphy doing a stand-up tour.
Well, we heard, after everything with Richard Pryor, we were hearing that like his voice was ruined, and basically he's going to be an invalid. You know what I mean? That was basically the news coming out, because all the jokes were running around about him being on fire. That was the same time that Michael Jackson's hair caught on fire. So there was all kind of jokes going around,
Yeah.
And when you breathe that in, though, you know what I mean, and the way we understood it, Richard was never going to come back. So we were happy when he did.
Yeah.
And of course, he made those great movies with Gene Wilder and everything. And
they fucking hate each other.
it was a great pairing.
Yeah, it was.
So that.
Well, Gene Wilder was good in just about everything.
Oh yeah, he's underrated for sure. Great actor, yeah. And of course, he was married to a great comedian too. Gilda Radner.
Was he? I didn't know that.
Yep.
We'll try to get through some more bees.
I'll try not to die on my soda pop this time. I'm going to blame the bees. That's what it was.
Well, yeah.
Didn't hesitate to come help a friend in trouble. It didn't matter to you where it was or what you had to do. You based your decision on compassion for that friend and then acted accordingly. And that's what friendship is all about.
What a great story, Manny.
Yeah, thanks, Manny.
Let's go see Muffin and make sure he's okay.
Oh, it's Muffin that's drowning. I've been wrong this entire time. Manny was fine. Manny was fine the entire time.
The one with the hat on.
Yeah. Muffin is drowning.
That's the spirit. Follow me. I'll take you to him.
Sunny and Petal fly to visit with Muffin to make sure he's okay.
Muffin!
We came as fast as we could.
Came as fast as we could.
That's a fib.
Talked a few parables,
That's a fib. That's a big fib.
Well, let's put it this way. This story started at around 10 minutes. We're at 18 minutes, so it took him 8 minutes, not including travel time. Of definite, these motherfuckers were talking so long. Manny got out of the pit on its own.
We're talking about the hippo, right? One of the strongest animals and most powerful animals on the planet, and they're worried about it being stuck.
Yeah. Well,
I think it'll be okay. That's my spirit animal. If we get reincarnated, as some people believe, I want to be a hippo because nobody messes with a hippo. And if you dare interfere with my day, I'm going to bite your boat just like the hippos do. I love that attitude where it's like they just bite a boat. I can't think of a better animal to come back as. You get to hang out in the water all day. Somebody's bothering you, you flick some feces at them, or you bite their boat, right?
Yeah.
And otherwise, you just kind of hang out in the water. The crocodiles don't even bother you,
Yeah.
I mean, how great would it be that you could think, I can go swimming anywhere I want, and nothing in that water is going to dare mess with me.
Except bigger hippos.
Yeah.
I think I'd be a tiger. Just fucking stalking shit. Plus, if you're big enough, you don't have to do much. You're a big tiger. I suppose you have to deal with monkeys pissing on you, though.
Any of the bigger animals, poaching aside, would be a good choice.
Well, Dave, the way I look at it, right, is I have a friend. And
absolutely.
He's a friend from above, and he, in fact, does love animals like you do. So, if you were to speak to my friend, I'm sure he could make something happen.
I don't know if it was current or not, but I just saw a post where he had his 99th birthday.
Yeah, he said he's 99 and he doesn't think he's got long left.
Well,
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know if he's saying that. I think he's saying it more as in like, no, it's. I think it's more imminent than people think.
Yeah,
I hope
yeah, that's what I was going to say. A lot of them, you're rooting for them, and then they fall short by just a few days or something.
Yeah.
So
well, yeah, but see,
that's a tough one to pass.
But our blessed Lord Attenborough has been in tune with nature for so long that nature is going to give him a pass. That's what I think. Nature's going to give him a pass, and it's going to let him get to his milestone, and then together we can all rise and be one with the animals. When he does rise again and bring forth his father's animal kingdom onto the planet.
Well, he might have ran across a friendly witch doctor in all those foreign lands too. Might have, waved some bones at him and hooked him up.
I mean, I would think so. That man found an island where if you shout, birds fall from the sky. So I'm sure he can find a voodoo lady or two. You know what I mean?
Well, another one is Bill Shatner, Captain Kirk. He's looking really good for his age. Now, Clint Eastwood is looking his age. I mean, the last few years, he really started looking his age. But I see him standing next to Bill Shatner, and I'm like, wow, there's a big difference. I mean, he's a little overweight, but he looks good.
Yeah, but you see, it all started going wrong for one Clint Eastwood when he started talking to chairs like they were the president.
Trust me, as a long time, one of my favorite movies is The Outlaw Josie Wales. So you're looking at a Clint Eastwood fan here, and sometimes you got to let stuff go. It's like when I listen to Ted Nugent, I have to let a lot go.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
I could imagine.
And sometimes I will skip listening to Ted Nugent just because it irritates me that just shut up and make music. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, but everybody wants to have a voice, and he thinks that we should kill all the animals for tasty meats, and plays songs with fucking. Did you ever see him play Cat Scratch Fever on Fox News with fucking what's his face? Oh my god, Mike Huckabee on bass. No. God, that was a sight. And sorry, Mr. Swift. Yes, he will come back, and it isn't why the many reasons that I chose Sir Attenborough for what I'm doing at all, because he's old, and I'm not parodying Jesus in the slightest. I don't know what you're on about. He is going to come back as a good lich. It is written in the texts.
And don't forget the almighty bishop, I guess you would call him, of comedy. Mel Brooks is like 99 or something too.
I heard he's making a fucking. He wants to make a sequel to Spaceballs.
Yeah, I heard he's actually working on something. It's like, well, Clint Eastwood too. He's still making movies. More power to him. That's great. You want to do what you want to do until they carry you off. More power to you, and the ability to be able to do it when so many can't. For various health issues and everything. Again, they're very lucky. Yeah.
Well, I think people like that, they just keep on going because they've been working. I think Attenborough would drop dead if he stopped making things. And because that's what's keeping him going.
Oh yeah, anything, you have to wake up in the morning to feed your cat, you know what I mean? And any of those kind of things, it seems to keep people going, definitely.
Yeah. Well,
but the bad news is, though, we're going to lose some greats in the upcoming years here. Some true legends.
Yeah.
Well, Betty White and some of these others, their time is coming up. And when you see these memory things come up of the TV shows we used to watch and all the images are ghosting out, right?
Yeah. You see something you think, I don't know. I've seen something about how internet, it's either the internet or streaming has made people feel like time hasn't passed. So it's why it's more surprising to people now when people look older, when they see them now, because people are still watching the same shit and looking at the same things from years ago.
Right. Yeah. Yep. I know I've seen it, and that's the thing. If you haven't seen somebody for a while too, and then you see them, and it's like, oh yeah, you forgot. Oh yeah, gee whiz, it's been 20, 30, 40 years or whatever. And it's like, okay.
Especially with this surge of what we got to make this thing again. We haven't made this show for 20 years. We've got to make it again. Don't you want to watch like new Malcolm in the Middle? Do you not want to see new everything? Although I do actually want to see new Malcolm in the Middle. So
speaking in remakes, Married with Children animated.
Yeah, that's weird. It's got Thingy as one of some of the Family Guy producers working on it. There's like there's Thingy's coming back as well. I can't fucking.
Well, I know Christina Applegate is retired because she has MS or something.
Yeah. Well, she's doing a voice on it though. I think that's one of the reasons.
But so that would be cool. Yeah, if she can, do the voice all right, and that would great to have her back because I felt bad that like I say, some of these folks you like them and then they get hit with something and it's it hits you. It's like it's it's so unfair.
It's like I remember when Carlin went because he'd like just released a special. And then he just Carlin's dead. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
So out of the blue as well.
Yeah. And like I say, we were talking about the late shows the one night, and I said, I remember watching the late shows with my mother, right? Yeah. And then so and so has passed, and so, and then they'd have all the old timers on there and everything, and now I'm going through it. Now I'm, first of all, who is this? Because you don't recognize the people on the shows anymore. That's how you know you're getting older. Who's these young people? I don't even know who these people are. And then it's like, who died?
It's like that a bit for me in wrestling at the minute because it's like all the people I used to watch wrestling when I was a kid. They're all the old fucking legends now, and they took 20 billion chair shots to the head, and they're all disheveled and. None of my joints work, but I've come out.
Hulk Hogan too. He got kind of goofy too. Yeah.
He was always like that.
Well, I didn't really know much, but but I know he's goofy now. So yeah.
Well, Mick Foley got hit in the head with a chair so many times he thinks he's Santa Claus. So
I loved Hulk Hogan because he was in the Rocky movie. When he did Thunder Lips, and I thought that character was great.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know an interesting piece of wrestling history about that film? Sure. That film made wrestling what it is now.
Oh, it couldn't hurt. Yeah, I mean,
because Vince McMahon, because of Hulk Hogan being in that, started buying up all the wrestling promotions.
Yeah,
because he wanted Hulk Hogan, and it started
Strike while the iron's hot, right?
Yeah. Well, it's 2:30. And I think Maya's starting, so everybody's going to exit us soon, aren't they?
Yep, it's 9:30 here, so that's Maya's slot.
Tell you what, though, the only things I'm excited now for are Godzilla film.
I like Godzilla movies.
They've gotten really good now, so hopefully they continue that.
I like the King Kong movies, even though some of them have been kind of cheesy.
Well, they just announced the next one. I think it's Space Godzilla.
I really like the Jack Black King Kong. That one, with all the bugs and critters and I really enjoyed that one. I did. The Kong Island, though, I was disappointed. It was like they rushed it. They didn't really know what they were doing, how to end it, or it was just send some helicopters to King Kong. And then they just kind of pieced it together. It didn't really have,
I think it's the problem. I think they took him too seriously in the start. That's the problem. You can't take you get the one King Kong film where he's climbing Empire State Building and shit. That's the serious film. Everything else is complete schlock. And it's the same with Godzilla. Godzilla, except for Godzilla -1, should not be taken seriously. It's schlock. That's why it's great.
Oh yeah.
I missed Or is it like Mr. Swift say the Halsey series? Godzilla's the best. I kind of prefer the first series, to be honest. Fucking where it's like Reptar instead of Godzilla. Do you know what I mean? He's got his kid, and it's fucking mental. I love Super, and all the things are like little fucking, Green Army Men toys that they're burning and shit. It was so good.
Oh yeah. Well, see, when going back, we only had a few channels on TV when I was growing up. So one of the bonuses was picking up one of the channels in Michigan, and they used to run a lot of the Japanese stuff. They must have, however they bought it or whatever. So we would see the Godzilla movies, the Johnny Sacco and his robot, Ultraman, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got turned on only because there was a channel. Was it in Allen, Michigan, something like that?
Yeah.
But it was channel 20, and that was it. Now it didn't always come in good because sometimes the antenna didn't, was kind of fuzzy.
Yeah.
But if it was a good day, we got turned on to a lot of that stuff. And watching Godzilla and Bruce Lee movies and similar, all the flying up in the air and flipping 50 times and coming down and putting your fingers right through coconuts and all those things, right? Oh yeah, that was great. And it was something else to watch because we only had a few channels, Well, that was great stuff. And even though you could tell they looked like literally plastic army men, it didn't matter. It was great. It was great watching those. I would watch those over, a lot of the American and other stuff any day. It was just it took you away. And like I said, with early Star Trek and all those shows, even if you saw the string and stuff, you know what I mean? You didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't care, right? Because you had this awesome show you're watching about, whatever sci-fi, monsters, whatever you're watching, and it was just so great. Now, of course, now we're more critical because you got all the great CGI and everything and stuff. But back in the day, you still had to use a little imagination, like when you're reading a book or something. You have to. Well, had to put yourself into it a little more.
I think it's because, like, this shitty Bible Beast thing. It's because I think people try to make things shit on purpose too much nowadays. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where, like, at the time, those things, they weren't shit. They were like, oh, fuck it out, that looks really good, because it wasn't, that sort of thing wasn't seen before. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shin Godzilla is fucking amazing, and it's a shame those anime sequels are so fucking bad.
Well, they talk about stuff like, Star Trek and Lost in Space borrowed alien masks and painted them a different color because they were on such a tight budget. So you have to appreciate, they were running on a shoestring budget. I think the first Alien movie, I think it was, they literally just went down to the hobby store, bought a bunch of different models, and glued all the pieces together and made the spaceship. There you go, And I think Sigourney got like $30,000 for the first Alien movie. And then the next one, or with whichever one in order, she was getting, $3 million or something like that. So, sometimes you got to pay your dues. You got to use the camera tricks and all the, little tricks of the trade, turn the lights down, have everything dark, and you can save all that money. But then come another day, you'll have that big budget when you can get the awesome CGI and everything. So paying the dues, But like I say, you can, watching the movie though, you don't notice those things because, like, say, everything's dark, and everything, and you only need minimal things in the background, and it was good enough to make a great movie.
Do you remember the European Godzilla? It was in that first series of the new reboot of Mystery Science Theater.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And it was like Godzilla, but like in Denmark or Amsterdam or something like that.
Kicking down windmills.
And I'm pretty sure it was made by Toho as well. So it looks like 60s, 70s Godzilla.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like the same standard. It was really good.
Yeah, it was.
But do you know what? Those new Mystery Science Theaters have got some good shit in there. They actually do Marjo science. Do you know of Marjo Gortner?
No, by the name.
So Marjo Gortner was like a child evangelist priest in like the 50s or 40s or something like that. Reptilicus, yes. No, Reptilicus is fucking amazing. But I like bad films, so I like bad films like that. So I guess whatever.
There's a few bad films that I like.
I mean, my favorite film is Freak Out, and that is the worst film. It's just a couple kids in Southern England that it's like like Clerks level thing, but they're like it's about a vegan serial killer, and it's really good.
Sometimes you just got to watch the bad movies.
Yeah.
Like this is one of those things. I don't know. It makes you appreciate good movies in a different way, I guess, or something.
Well, I like films like that because it's like people that just want to make something and have an idea and are like, it's going to be shit. I don't give a shit. I'm doing it anyway because otherwise it's not going to get done. And I like that.
Yeah.
I sometimes think YouTube has killed that a little bit because YouTube wants you to make things in certain ways and do things in certain ways. And like creativity is really punished on YouTube, I feel.
I take criticism and everything and people drop comments and I take things to heart and everything, but I like to do what I like to do and I like to do my own graphics and everything and no, they aren't the best, but I've also heard from people that say, hey, you know what? I like watching just a regular channel, without all the hoopla, so to speak,
Yeah. Because there's like a lot of personality types you're going to have on YouTube and a lot of different things and shit.
Yeah, there's a place for everybody, and the thing I noticed too is people that try too hard, they get burned out, right? So if you're trying too hard, you need to stop and take a break, because that means you're not having fun. And like we're talking about, anything like sequels and stuff where they didn't try hard enough because, okay, let's just make a sequel. And then it's the same thing. You do a stream and you're like, okay, well, I don't really have anything to talk about. I'm just doing a stream. It comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the algorithm kind of forces you to kind of carry on in that fashion.
Well,
and it's annoying.
As much as I would love to put some firecrackers in my pants and spark them up, I don't need a viral video that bad.
I don't need a big viral video. I just need a little viral video. Just a bit.
A little one would be nice. Yeah.
Just a little viral.
Well,
I just have a little bit of viral.
I've got a mini viral. My dog man with Stephanie broke 3K, so that's my mini viral right there.
Yeah.
So, that was nice. I mean, every time I checked it, it was just ticking up hundreds and hundreds. And I'm like, holy crap, this one, I was like, that's awesome,
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of folks have had ones that have hit in, 10, 15,000. I haven't had anything like that. But my videos aren't, high quality or anything. So
my highest one is about 1,000. And no, the best horror remake ever is The Thing.
Which remake of it? Because there's more than one remake.
No, there isn't. There's only one remake. Isn't it?
Well, you've got the original black and white, and then you've got the one with Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
And then you've got the new one.
Yeah, but the new one is not a remake.
Okay. So you're still talking about Kurt Russell then?
No.
Oh, you're talking about the new one.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right.
The new one's a prequel. It's not a remake.
Okay.
I like it. A lot of people don't, but I do. Because it have you watched it?
No, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm a fan of the other two.
See, it uses it uses CGI more, but you follow it. You follow the thing instead of following like somebody trying to get away from it. It's a very different film.
Yeah, see, again, that's one of the ones that goes back to Saturday afternoons. That's one of the movies they would run, the black and white original thing from the 50s or 60s, whatever it was. Yeah, that's one of the ones I grew up watching. And then when they made the remake, that was awesome. And I thought they did a great job with it. And that's one of my favorites.
To be fair, horror is one of my least favorite genres.
I enjoyed it more when I was younger. With the state of the world and everything, I've gone more to either something information, like documentaries or something, or like doing the stuff on YouTube, or I like watching comedy. I want to
basically the same.
I want to laugh. I don't want to be scared. I don't want to be thinking about somebody's doing things to people in their basements and all these things are all the crime shows that are out. It just kind of gets a little depressing. You know what I mean? Not that I want to dismiss what's going on in the world, but you hear about it enough on the news. I don't need to watch it when I'm trying to take a break from the world, so to speak.
I mean, there's been a rise in decent horror comedies of late, though. So I've been getting into some of them. So what was that? Little Monsters. You ever heard of Little Monsters?
I think so.
So it's an Australian film about a teacher trying to keep kids alive at a petting zoo during zombie apocalypse. And she's telling the class, it's just like tag. They're not real. It's just tag. Don't worry about it. It's just
when we were younger. When we were younger, we used to root for the bad guys and, call all the people, dummies for not turning the lights on or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you dummy, you didn't turn the light on, right? Oh, you're going to get it next. Good. You got it coming. So we were kind of laughing at the horror movies. But yeah, after a while, the thrill kind of wore off. I still like some of the classics like Jaws and Alien and Omen and The Exorcist, some of the classics, and Dracula movies, Frankenstein movies, any of those kind of things.
So if it's clever enough,
but the slasher stuff and all that,
I still like Jason. I'll still watch Jason stuff, but that's about it out of that genre.
Yeah. See, I kind of lost my thrill with that real quick too. I always liked Freddy because Freddy was in the imagination, in the dreamland, right? The other ones, it just got on my nerves that no matter what you did, they somehow managed to keep bringing them back, right? No matter what you did, fill them full of holes, cut them into pieces, burn them, bury them.
Yeah, Mike Myers is
and they're going to come back. Yeah. And so it got a little, it kind of got a little old. But with Freddy, well, you've got the open environment to do anything you want. He can obviously come back whenever he wants. There's no rules in Dreamland,
Yeah. Well,
so I was always more of a Freddy guy. Yeah.
The thing I like about Jason is that Jason became a parody of itself eventually, and they became basically spoof movies of itself, kind of like Evil Dead. That's why I like Jason.
I like Evil Dead. Yeah, I do like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was I like Dale and Tucker versus Evil as well. That's a good one. I've heard of that one.
Yep.
I love that one. Just because it's the opposite way around. I love the accidentalness of everything.
I like a lot of the spoof movies and stuff like that too. They're things like Airplane, making fun of airport movies and everything.
You're looking forward to the new Naked Gun? I
heard about it.
The trailer looks pretty good. I'm all in favor of Liam Neeson being Frank Drebin.
We'll see if he can pull it off. I like him. He is a good actor.
The missus hates him and everything,
yeah.
But he can actually be really funny. He's because he's just good at deadpan, and it's what this film needs. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that was the whole idea behind that, and Airplane and everything else. They hired serious actors to do comedy. That was the whole spin. So when you saw Leslie Nielsen and Robert Wagner and as a Robert Wagner. And who was the other guy? The one that used to do the America's Most Wanted type show.
Fucking Unsolved Mysteries with.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't think of his fucking name.
I know, it's on the tip of my tongue too. But they pulled all those guys together to do comedy, and
I mean, that guy was in basketball as well. They still have no fucking idea where he is.
It was so great, and I still laugh. I can watch that movie and I still laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh.
Because like I think one of them is because like a lot of the jokes they do, they get tired down the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like they originated with it, so they get the pass, and it makes them funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like anytime anybody else goes, Shirley, you can't be serious. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. You go,
Yeah.
But Airplane, you go,
Yeah, because it was like you said. Yeah, it was the setup. It's a serious scene.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a tragic event. You know, you've got this dire emergency on this airplane, and the airports are snowed in. And now, what are you going to do? You're going to make a joke.
Yeah.
All right, Zach. You get going there. I know it's late there, and
yeah, fair enough. I was just typing something in the chat more than anything. But yeah,
I'll get back. I'll get back with you when it's earlier. And I would say today I was busy. I was my son came over. We had some burgers on the grill for Mother's Day, and then we had to make a run over to the cemetery. I got to do the mom thing. So
yeah, do you know what?
Delivered mom some flowers, and we trimmed up the headstones. And my son even hit a couple of the neighbors while we were there, so their stones are all cleared off. So.
To be honest, when I set this up with Joe, I completely forgot that it was Mother's Day, because Mother's Day and shit like that's different over here. So,
yeah.
But yeah,
well, not everybody celebrates it. Not everybody has a great mom and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But you know what? My kids love their mom, and my mom was a good mom. So I do the thing. I visit mom at the cemetery, and I do my duty because she was an awesome mom.
That's good for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna.
Hamburgers on the grill there's not much better. I mean,
yeah,
for something simple and delicious, burgers on the grill is it, man. Everybody's like, "Wow, that was so good!" Because especially in this temperate zone, you don't grill a lot in the winter over here, so we get withdrawals, making, or buying a fast food or whatever. And then you have that real burger on the grill, and it's like, oh yeah, that makes it all worthwhile. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yep, we had a good day. It was nice.
3:00 here, near enough. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I'm going to find some other shit to watch. I've got lots of other stupid things to do.
And don't make friends with them stupid bees either. And you know what?
Yeah.
The hippo will be just fine. All right, trust me.
I think I'm going to do Finding Jesus next. I've not even watched that one. So
I was on with AJ last week, and we were looking at some of these children's things, and it's
bad.
It's truly disgusting, and they are really bad. They are.
It's just such base indoctrination, and like people might mock people watching like stuff like this and debunking it, and it's like, no, you got to point out how these people are using this to twist people at a young age to form neural pathways to make it hard to get over shit. Do you know what I mean?
AJ was pulling up the Bible verses as we were going along, and it's like, you can see how much they sanitized
it. Yeah. Sorry. It's fucking. I remember when I was a kid. It might be part of the reason I ended up deconverting a bit. Because like my mum gave me one of those kids' Bibles, so like everything was cleaned up and all the bad stuff was taken out, and God's nice, and look at these nice things, and look over here at the pretty pictures. Do you know what I mean? And then you get to the real thing, and you're like, what the fuck?
I got lucky. I don't think I ever got any of that kind of material when I was younger. Pretty much we got what we asked for. I asked for a science magazine, I got it. I asked for a microscope, I got it.
Yeah.
The only surprise things we didn't like much were the clothes, My mother would say, "This shirt is still hanging in your closet with the tag on it." And it's like, take the hint, Ma. But otherwise, that's a mom thing. But, no, otherwise my parents were great. We got, now we didn't have a lot of money, so I didn't get a fancy microscope or a fancy telescope, but I got one. You know what I mean? My one of my grandmas got me a National Geographic subscription, so I had a big old stack of National Geographics. In that way, pretty much. And then, like I say, on a budget, my parents couldn't afford to buy me books, but if I wanted to go to the library, my mom said, get in the car, and we went to the library,
Yeah, my mother was very much not like that.
That's why I say, all in all, I know a lot of folks have had, deconversion stories and hard things in their life and everything. But, I grew up lucky. Like I say, religion wasn't pounded into me. I thought mostly the people around me were pretty, liberal minded. And, we were coming out of the hippie age, and we went into the 80s with MTV, and
yeah,
it was kind of in your face. There's people with wild hair and makeup and different outfits and different sexualities and all this. And we were just all like, hey, that's cool, man. Let's smoke one, have a good time, And
I think being brought up in the 90s was a bad time to be brought up, because you get told, you express yourself, you be yourself, you do all these things, and then all of a sudden there was, none of that's good. What are you on about?
Yeah. That's one of the problems I have with people that are my age, who have kind of changed their attitudes lately. And it's like, what the hell's wrong with you?
It's that old Callan bit, isn't it? It's that old Callan bit about baby boomers. But I think it applies almost 100% to people that grew up in the 80s. They went from cocaine to Rogaine. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
we got
the love is all you need to fucking just say no.
We're the X generation. We're the cool generation coming out of the hippie age and everything.
I'm in the weird side of millennials. So.
But like I said, I didn't get a lot of religion forced on me, and we went to church and stuff. But if I wanted a science magazine or anything like that, the only thing my mother was strict about was age appropriate stuff. If I remember, she didn't want us to watch Saturday Night Live, and stuff like that, because it was. You need to be older to watch that, So she was mindful of that kind of things, which a parent should be,
My mum was weird with shit with like that. She'd let me watch Beekman's World and Bill Nye the Science Guy, right? But then fucking, Thingy was too much. Shit, what was it? I can't remember what I was going to say now. I think I've smoked too much. But she'd get really weird about I couldn't celebrate Halloween. Or
some stuff was okay, but some stuff wasn't. Yeah,
and she was super weird, super conservative Christian, and she was weird about stuff like that.
Yeah, see, I never had to go through any of that crap. I never had anybody, burning records or books or saying things were demonic or any of that. I didn't have to deal with any of that. I didn't. I went through all the things. I went through Cub Scouts. I went to, Sunday school. I went through all those things. Lucky for me, no bad experiences. Nobody I knew had any bad experiences. So a little naive. And then when I got older, I realized, all the hardships people have had, not just from bad parents, but from religion causing parents to do weird things like you're talking about.
Because I started having doubts when I was sort of young, but then I came into contact with like Carlin's stand up when I was like super young. I think I was 10 when I started listening to Carlin. So
we would sneak. Yeah, we would sneak stuff, and you know, I got a lot of influence from some of my friends that had older brothers and sisters, you know. So that you'd get that older influence, you know what I mean? So we get that there.
With me, I moved in with my dad because my mum like met a guy online and then moved over here. So my dad had like all these fucking comedy tapes that he'd forgotten about from when he was younger. So there was like Rick Pryor and fucking Carlin and like Eddie Murphy and shit. So
you know, my even my grandparents, you know, they were pretty cool. You know what I mean? You know, as long as you weren't, you know, a disrespectful little brat or something, you know.
Yeah.
You know, they were cool, and yeah, my grandma liked watching Creature from the Black Lagoon movies and stuff like this. Yeah, she liked Vincent Price movies and stuff like that. My grandma liked to get scared a little bit, so that was cool. And my other grandparents were pretty hip. They were a little uptight in their own circles, but when the kids came over, they let loose a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, well, you know, I had a great time with the relatives and everything. Yeah, so all around, all the arguments for why I'm not religious don't work on me because I you know, I didn't have bad experiences. I didn't have bad experiences at church. I went to a Methodist church. It was very progressive. People were nice. There was no, you know, ugliness going on. There was no hellfire going on. I went through scouting. Nobody touched me. You know, I, you know, and then when you heard about these things as you get older, you know, and it's just like, you feel so bad because a lot of that stuff was, you know, even though I'm not religious, I don't hold any ill will against anybody. And somebody that has to have all that baggage because some idiot ruined somebody's childhood, you know, it's really terrible. It really is. But when I hear the arguments that you're mad at God for all these different reasons, and no, you know, yeah. I had, we weren't rich, but we always had food in the house. We had toys, you know what I mean? We were the average people. My dad worked in a factory, you know. We didn't, you know, we didn't have money, but we, you know, we had food in the house. We went on vacations, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Did all the things, participated in things, school and you know, the scouting and doing all the things that kids do. Playing, my brother, I remember watching my brother playing T-ball. That was the big thing in the day. Everybody was playing T-ball. So there we were at the field. Everybody's playing T-ball, and yeah, it was great times. And then some idiot has to ruin it for everybody is really tragic.
Aye.
Well, but they do have a reason to be mad at religion, God, and everything else. So, yeah. But I don't, and I'm still not a believer. So there it is.
Right. Well, it's 3:00 here in the morning.
So all right, sign off, Zach. I'll talk at you soon.
Love y'all and leave you. I'm gonna come back tomorrow. I have no idea what I'm doing for the stream tomorrow. I haven't figured it out yet. I might be doing a Sean McDowell video. I don't know. And then Tuesday, you know, thing with Tux. Video might be out on Wednesday. I don't know. So it's been fun. I'll see y'all later. Letters. I've not clicked the thing. I keep on forgetting I gotta click multiple buttons. See y'all later.